You are live. Hey, good morning, everyone. Yay. Thank you so much for tuning back in to another DOY Creations video. I am Jeanette, aka Sarayah. And before I get started, I always like to give glory, honor, and praise to the Most High. Yeah. All right, you guys, I saw that I had a few people already waiting for me. And since I wasn't doing anything else, I figured I can come on just a few minutes earlier. So I hope that is okay with everyone. So, how is everyone doing today? I am doing great, and I hope you are too. Let me know, the standards, what is currently on your crochet hook. What else, guys? How is the weather and what is in your cup? So I have been working, making a lot of crochet flowers. I'll get ready and share that with you guys in a few seconds. But let me know how everything is going with you guys. So I do have let me put my glasses on. Oh, that is so much better. I do have my computer right here, but I am recording on my phone. So hopefully I can stay in frame and don't mess up and, all the standard stuff. So let me just greet who's here. I don't know if you're still here or not because I'm just coming on early. Lashira Crochet, good morning. How are you? OM Granny Square, that's the beautiful Ursula. And let's see. Um, and Don, how are you today? It's 8 a.m. here in California. So I'm going to say good morning. Yes, it is morning here as well. Good morning, Gloria, Miss Glow, Crochet Creations. She say hi, Jeanette, and everyone in the chat. Finishing up, Ruffle Beanie has water in my cup, 39 degrees. So that is how our weather here in the Chi-Town is looking today. Um, Pretty cold. Spring, it hasn't sprung all the way yet, but eventually it will. It'll catch up with us. Y'all, the other day, when it was Friday, Gloria, I got caught in all that rain. We had a rainstorm here in Chicago and it rained a lot. And I was right in and I got soaking wet, but it's okay. Water dries. Um, Don Yarn Doll say peppermint tea in my cup. Don't you just love that tea in my cup? Working on a baby blanket, and the weather looks to be a lovely sunny day. Oh, you're so welcome. That is so awesome. Yeah, it's pretty here. It's pretty cool here in Chicago. We are not at the point yet of getting putting up any coats or scarves. We still have to wear those things, guys, but oh well. Yes, it did. I got home right before it started. Yeah, I decided I was at home, Gloria, and then I realized that I was out of water, so I decided to let me see if I can run to Aldi's really fast and get back home before it start raining. But unfortunately, I got caught right in that rain. Jackie, good morning. How are you today? It is so good to see you. How are you? So yeah, guys, I will share with you guys these roses that I've been making. And so I got a few more of them done. If you missed that video showing the red roses, um, I shared with you guys that I wanted to make some more white roses. And I also got some yellow ones. Now I don't have the stems on there yet. I don't have let me show you. I got these right here from Amazon. You can buy these bamboo sticks like this right from Amazon. Natasha, she shows us how to put them on, but that is what I've been working on. I like these because you can wear these as a embellishment on your hat, or you can even have it as an embellishment on your garment. All you need to do is put a safety pin on here, or you can actually buy a brooch and pin it to it. But this is what I am working on currently. I got a few of them made already. And so yeah, I just wanted to show you the ones that how they look once you wrap them up. Does that scream spring or not? That is such a beautiful spring color, and you know, white, and I made some red ones. Don said, my phone says high of 56 degrees Fahrenheit. We're still wearing coats and layers for warmer here as well. Yeah. You know, I really, you know, as I was spring cleaning, because I really like to spring clean. And so as I was spring cleaning, I really was ready to put up my big coats and scarves and things like that. But here in Chicago, nope, you cannot put you cannot put those things away as of yet. So the bamboo sticks, they're pretty long, guys. I didn't know that I was getting, well, I could have grabbed a measurement tape so I can see how long this is, but you can always trim it down if you don't want it to be, you know, this long. But basically, once you put them on, you can add some, you know, other embellishment. And, you know, it's a lovely project. It's a quick project, and it's such a lovely project. So if you order them and you like, oh, that stick is just too long, you can always shave it down to fit your vase or vase or whatever you have. Good morning, Dark Skies. How are you today? You say good morning, Jeanette, and everyone. You look extra beautiful today. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I have to go grocery shopping, but wanted to stop by to say hi and leave a thumbs up. Everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you. Thank you so much for popping in. And you know, guys, I appreciate the thumbs up. So if you haven't thumbs up, please do. So yeah, I thought these are just some nice projects to work on. They're very quick, very easy. When I showed the video, once these all done, because in the previous video, you guys will see me holding up some red flowers. I do have the tutorial I follow directly into that video, but once I share this with you guys, I'll leave that link again. Don say, oh, I'm excited to see the roses. Aren't they? They just so lovely. Jackie said, I'm doing pretty good. Hubby sick with a cold. I cough and sore throat. I'm trying not to get it. He works outside, and I've been in. Oh yeah, you know, whatever they're experiencing, you know, we gotta have just a snippet of it. So make sure you are protecting yourself. These come 25 in a pack, and these are 18-inch. I would have preferred like getting maybe 14-inch. I wasn't for sure, but you do get 25 green bamboo sticks, 25 in a pack, 18 inches. So Amazon, that is where I got them from. So because I have 25, I have made 3. And so now I'm just, you know, getting ready for the other one. Gypsy 2, I'm doing okay. How are you? Okay. And everybody's speaking. All right, guys, let me see if my guest, because I need a guest today, is ready. Got the thumbs up. All right. Hi, my beautiful, beautiful friend. Let me just take that out. How are you today? It is so great to see you, Ursula.
This is really spur of the moment, because I got the notification and I thought, here I'm sitting. I've got my face on. I've got my hair done because I've been out today. Hey, wait a minute. This is an opportunity. Seize the moment. How are you doing?
I'm so glad you did. You know, Ursula, girl, we got Kingman's spirits, because you know what? I really need you today. I really need you today. That is so beautiful.
I'm making progress on my circular blanket. And I want to tell you, I went to a shop that we call It's called PNA. PNA. It's
Okay.
our local craft store. But on the back, they always have, you see this, you can color it in a whole huge, you can cut it out, color it in and put it in a frame.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
That's a beautiful bag. And so then what I bought for my circular blanket is some POW green.
That's the
It's
POW
like a
green.
green that absolutely pops. Well, there we go. This is the real color. Guys, it's like a neon green. Neon green.
That is
lovely.
So, and lovely.
A pair of scissors. It's purple, so it called my name. Take me home, adopt me. I said, for sure, I'm in the adoption line. Come home. So.
Hi, Isola.
Yes.
Isola Crafting Life. It is so good to see you. Hi, Jessica. Everybody speaking into Ursula. Yeah. You know what?
My drawer of cotton.
Look at that.
This is my drawer of cotton. This is stuff I must frog. You can. This is stuff I must frog. These little bits. But the rest is my cotton that I am using for this project. I am so happy. This project, when I work on it, it just makes me happy, and everything goes in this drawer. And now my new ball of yarn as well. And when I'm working on it, which was this weekend, but I tell you what I'm doing today, you know how you sometimes tell yourself today is the day I must do one thing, and the one thing I must do today is work in all these ends. So I finished all the side. There's only this little bit to do, and then the other side still. So take courage. Me and Netflix will work through it.
Wow, you better get started with that. That's the hard part. That's the most annoying part. Thank you, Dark Skies. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for stopping in. And if you haven't had a chance to leave your thumbprint, please do. Ursula, I have been working, or lack thereof. I don't know if I've been really working. I don't know. My Crojo is it's all over the place. I don't know. Let's see. Hey, Nikki from the Everyday Life of an OCD-ish Chick. How are you this morning? Hey, Elaine, with Passion for Yarn. How are you today? Thank you for the thumbs up. Yes, Ursula. I was so glad my phones made that noise. You know how you get that direct message from Facebook or Instagram. And when I saw it, I said, wow, she's going to be right on time. I need her on this platform today because I feel like, I don't know. I don't know. I've been dragging.
Sometimes we just need someone.
I feel like I'm dragging. I'm trying to not lose to Crojo, but I've been trying to do small patterns. And so if you just tuning in, and thank you so much, Ursula, for the super chat. Super sticker. Can I play the song for you really quickly? Because that is truly a blessing. Let's do that real quick. Hold the phone, please. Hold the
phone.
All right. Thank you, Ursula. I appreciate that so very much. So, like I was sharing just a second ago, I've been working on roses.
It's beautiful.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Oh, wow. Oh, gorgeous. I cannot agree more.
Got the white one.
Oh, I love it.
If you saw the video with the red ones.
I've made roses, but I've never thought of doing the green. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
I just never thought of doing it.
That's Natasha. I'll make sure. Thank you, Elaine. I'll make sure that I leave her link. I left the link before in the previous video where you're seeing with the red. And so definitely
Nastasia, yes.
I'll leave it again. I love
Yes.
her tutorials. They always so nice and so just easy to follow.
Clear.
Nikki said, "Hey sis Jeanette,
Yes.
please talk about those earrings that you are wearing." I am wearing, let's do that since you said let's talk about it. These are let me make myself solo. I'm on my phone, guys,
Yes.
so excuse me for the fingers all in your
It's no,
face.
yes, I know it. On the phone, it is a bit slower. I'm with you there. Ooh, look at you. Look at you. Beautiful.
Thank you. So this is just some crochet earrings, and they have some cowrie shells on there to add a little embellishment. I like things to pop just a little bit more because you know what? Whatever you're wearing, try to make a statement with it, right? So let me take
Yes.
myself off.
It's like that perfume that's called exclamation. Saying everything without saying a word. Ooh.
Say everything without saying a word. And so even though, and I have these in red, and I can make these whatever color, Nikki. Even though you know how to contact me, Nikki. That's everyday life of an OCD's chick. Her name is Nikki. And so what I was feeling this morning, I was getting a lot of stuff done, right? Hey, there's Granny D. Look who's in the house, guys. Yay! Granny D is in the house. Granny D, yes. How are you, Granny D? She said, my darling Ursula. Good morning, Iffy. How are you today? Oh, okay, Nikki. You know how to get in contact with me. Okay, thank you so much. You know, I appreciate the love and the support. Passion for Yarn just put out her playlist, guys. If you're not part of Passion for Yarn channel, join her. She got her members. She just need the watch hour. So if we can help her out with that, that would be so awesome. Uh, Granny D from Knit Pearls and Squirrel says she's doing better. Thanks, Granny D. We are so happy to hear that. You know, keeping you lifted up in prayers and Jackie and
Oh,
everyone
yes.
lifted up in prayer. But I just had certain people I was just actually saying the names, you know. Nikki
Oh,
from the
yes.
Everyday Life of OTS Chick said, I wore my new earrings and ring today. I received so many. Oh, thank you so much, Nikki. She purchased the Everyday Life of an OCS Chick, purchased some of my wire earrings. And, you know, I always try to give a little incentive, a little gift. So I'm so glad you got a lot of compliments on there because you know what? Everything I make it with so much love. I put so much love in there. Everything doesn't always work out the way we want to, but just know there's love in there. So that makes me so happy. Everybody speaking to everybody, get to know everybody. If you want your links to drop, all you need to do is type in DOY creation and Nightbox will drop your link. If you don't, if you see any Nightbox links and you're not familiar with them, check them out. They could be a channel that you really like. Now, the everyday life of an ODS chick, her name is Nikki, but she's a gardener, guys. She does cooking, gardening, and so much more. So check her out. Ursula, I've been seeing your shorts. And I've been seeing your progress on both of your yarns, both of your blankets. And I tell you, they're very inspirational. Are you color
But you know,
controlling, Ursula?
I
Are
what
you
I'm
doing?
trying to do is, when the blanket gets bigger and bigger, because we're using scrap, some of my scrap is really small. It's not going to go around a huge big circle. So I thought, okay, now what I want is I want continuity. So the way I'm going to achieve this is I'm going to start uh, every row a different color so that by the time I do like a quarter or a third of a row in one color and the other two thirds in another color, it won't look strange because the people are used, whoever's looking at it is used to seeing the color interruption, or color changes. So, well, I'm just, I've never made a circular blanket. This is my first.
Really?
I should call it my virgin blanket because I've never done a circular blanket. I'm so excited to be doing this. So and cotton, because you know what? I was lying on my bed and we are heading for winter, and I was really feeling that I wanted a throw over me, but not something that's hot. And a cotton throw or a cotton afghan is just the thing because it is not hot really, and it just gives that, it does give warmth, but it's not as hot as acrylic. So this project came at the right time for me. I'm late in joining, guys. You probably all have started on your circular blankets, but it came at the right time. I had scrap, and I watched your video, which I somehow missed, and I thought, look at this blanket. I have got to make one because it looks like fun. And you know, when you're seriously doing ends and whatever, yes, this project of the Yarny Fiber Sisters, which is a crochet along, I thoroughly enjoy it. It's a beautiful thing. I think I should call it my garden blanket because it looks like a garden, you know. And but yes, hit the like button. It is free. I mean, what are you waiting for? Bring all the household accounts, please. I mean, you can get 2 thumbs and a big toe. Throw it in. And yes, so I just want to, today I'm just working in on ends, but I should actually be working on my circular blanket here with Jeanette. But I love the feel of the cotton. It's different from the acrylic that I've been doing, a whole big blanket of acrylic. You know, it's lovely and short. Thanks so much for the prayers. Yes, we must keep them going because she's going to have a little tiny tumor removed, cancerous time, a little tumor removed. So we just pray for the doctors for wisdom and insight and protection for Granny D. Ooh, Granny D, you do not know how you are in my prayers, because I just say, Lord, we need Granny D. I do not want to wake up with bad news that she is, Lord, you don't need her yet. We still need her. It's something like that. Just, we want her on loan for a little bit longer.
Yes. And it's, you know, we just
know, Granny D, not time to go to heaven yet.
You are in our prayers, and we are just hoping for the best for all of us. Hey, Regina, how are you today? It is so good to see you from Adon's World. Yes, I tell you, hey, Jamie, how are you today? I'm hanging out till my friend pick me up. Oh, thank you for hanging out, and thank you for the thumbs up. I am just at a, you know, when I do my crochet alongs, I like to do them where people can take their time, enjoy the process, no stress, just enjoyment. You know what I mean?
No, that's the one thing
I'm working on something. Enjoyment. You got to have some enjoyment. Granny D said, thanks so much, Jeanette. Much love for you. And also, yeah, I mean, Granny D, just know that when you have someone on your mind and they are lifting you up in prayers, just know how special you are. Because you know what? We are all in prayer, in the need of prayer. You don't have to be going through anything to need prayer. Okay, so prayer is always needed for all of us, y'all. But we thankful to see another day and see each other. I'm so glad to know that and do that. That is always good. And again, when you see Nightbox dropping any links and you're not part of their family, go ahead and do what you need to do. Let me just go back here. Hold on. Okay, so there
also
you go.
appreciate the fact that you give us a whole year to do this crochet along. Takes a lot of pressure off, especially if you're busy and you say, oh well, she's giving us a whole year, I'll just fit it in somewhere. So that helps a lot, Jeanette. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm working on something. I'm working on a hat. I tell you specifically, I'm working on a hat. And so, and when I started this hat, I have this anxiousness type of feeling where I feel like as soon as I started, especially if it's colors that I really love, I can't wait to see how it's finished and how it's going to look. And I had to just tell myself, just chill out. You know what I mean? Because it takes the fun out of it when you so in a hurry to see the end results. And so you thinking
Yes.
to yourself, you know what? You missing the enjoyment of the process. So that's why
Mm.
I've been every time I see your short Ursula from OM Granny Square, or if I see like on Facebook, I see how you enjoying the process with the calendar cow and the circular cow. I can see how you going back and forward with them and how you enjoying it. And that's the whole key thing. So whatever you do, just enjoy it.
I'm doing what you've preached.
Nikki said,
I got it from you. You were saying, keep it fun. But the thing is just that I took that literal to heart, and there's no looking back. Jeanette taught me, keep
yeah,
it fun. If it's not fun, if it's not making me happy, park it. So Jeanette, that's
park.
all you. You're teaching me that. So I'm just applying what you've been teaching me.
And I have to practice what I preach. I give good
I
sermons.
didn't say it, but you said it. Because I wanted to say,
No,
maybe if you're losing the joy, you should just go back and hear what Jeanette has been saying. What
yeah,
would
practice
Jeanette
what you preach.
tell you?
Don't just have good, don't have good sermons and you don't, Granny D or Elaine or anybody, I'm gonna drop the link in case if you want to come up and join me in Ursula, you're
Oh,
welcome.
yes.
Let me just
Yes,
drop it.
you're so welcome.
I dropped the wrong link earlier. Am I dropping the right link? What link am I dropping? Is this the link
The
right
link,
here?
I'll tell you. No, that's not it. In the link would be StreamYard. So when you're in StreamYard, do you want me to drop the link? Because I can actually go to you can pin it in. I can drop it and you can pin it. Deal?
Okay. Deal.
Okay.
Deal.
I,
Deal, Holyfield. Deal, Holy. She said, yes. Granny D said, yes, I always enjoy the zen of the projects I do. And I do majority of the time, but sometimes I just be like, girl, get it together. Get it all the way together and just relax. But like you said, Ursula, it's not the only thing that we got going on, in our lives. So sometimes you have other things that you got going on and you can get distracted. You can get, anxious, whatever feelings you may be experiencing. And so you want your crochet be that relaxing
I've
factor,
got,
right?
I dropped it, so you've
Uh,
got to pin it now. Have you got an extra device where you can pin it?
I pinned it. I just pinned it.
Ta-da!
There you go. There you Elaine or Nikki from OAD or Granny D or whoever. If you want to come up and hang out with me, Ursula, there's the link. It's up to you. Y'all know I can't do too much movement. I'm recording on my phone, and when I record on my phone, if you see me looking this way, it's because I can see the comments a little bit better on my computer. So my eyes keep going to the side, but it's
You
because
must
I'm
be
reading
so glad.
comments over there too.
Yeah, you must be so glad you're not a cat, because a cat has to move its head to look that way. You can just roll the eyeballs.
Girl, I don't want to be a cat. I'm a bird person. I'm not a cat person.
Granny D will be up shortly. Eating brunch just now. Enjoy
All
the brunch.
right. There's my beautiful sister, Christine. That's my sister, guys. Hey, sis. Eating breast just now, but I'll be up shortly. Thank you, Granny D. Yes, guys. So I have been, like I said, so what I'm doing now is working on something that is going to give me enjoyment. And it's calming me down, relaxing me. And like I said, I do use my crochet as a mean of therapy, of just relaxing. And so making these beautiful flowers, it relaxes me, guys. It just totally,
It's
totally,
beautiful.
you know, totally relaxes
It's
me and
beautiful.
keep me out of jail.
Now that's what it must do. It must really give you a happy place. Because that's what it is,
Yeah.
isn't it? For us, for me, it's coping with stress. Just
Thank you,
coping with
Vicky.
stress.
Yeah. It is wonderful to see Isla. I haven't seen Isla in so long. It's good to see you. Rose Crochet. She said, "Good morning, Jeanette and Ursula, and everyone on the chat. Wishing you all Sunday blessings. Just dropping in to say hi, hello, and gave a thumbs up. Oh, thank you so much. Hi, Roberta. One of my what dessert squad. Sorry, I didn't say that for you, Ursula, or for Granny D. My what dessert squad. Roberta, how are you today? Yes, girl. So I'm going to make these flowers. I got a vase somewhere back there, and I just want to pull out just some
Yes.
pretty colors: yellow, white, pink, lilac. They are so easy to make. I have made so
You know
many
what you
now. I
must
don't need a
try?
tutorial. Yeah,
You know what you must
when I
try
tell you,
is a variegated yarn. Say white and pink variegated and make a rose out of that. I've seen that
ooh,
because you do get
oh,
roses in reality that are, how do you say? Maybe I use a term for animals, but they take a
yeah,
white rose and a pink rose and they cross
oh
them.
yeah,
Then you get a rose that's white and pink. Oh, it's beautiful. So,
yeah. I agree.
guys,
That
if I'm looking
variegate.
down, I'm working in pesky ends. Okay, so just have sympathy with me. I hope we're working in ends here while I'm working with, sitting here with my friend. I'm so happy to be here because you know what? It's like they know that you're going live and they're like, okay, no, DOYcreations going live. Let's switch the power off. All right, that's a perfect time for load shedding. And in fact, if this was now before spring forward, the power would have gone out at 6 p.m., which is when your live would have been. Now you sprung closer to me, which now it's my time, 5 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon, early evening, 5 to 7 p.m. Now I can make it, but our power is still going out at 6. But it's okay. I'm on my phone, and my phone is charging at the speed of light year, and I've got one long lasting. Let's see how long I last. Let's see how long the daylight lasts. But I'm here. It's all about get up, dress up,
I
show up, half the job done.
Yes, and I appreciate that. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it so much. So, you know, every time, sometimes you go live, the preparation just to go live, the preparation to do a tutorial, the preparation to do a video, it's real, guys. It's real. It's not just turning on my camera and there it is. No, I didn't wake up like this. I did put some work for it.
You know what? My husband was, we went out, we came back. You guys know my day is much later. And I just told you I've been to the shop. Now I did a short in the shop that we work because they have a little yarn section. A little yarn section. But I thought, hey, little section, little short video. Let's do it. I saw the opportunity and they were playing music. So I thought, here it comes, voice over. Okay. So when I get home, now I'm sitting next to my bed and my husband's lying on the bed and he looks like he's planning to fall asleep. So I tell him my intention is to make a short, which means I will be saying the same thing 9 or 10 times. So just bear with me. If you feel like that's too much for you, you're the one that must move. So then this is now the time to move. And because that's what happens, guys. Sometimes I counted. How many went wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
I know.
9 wrong. Number 10 was right. Because I stumble over my words. And I'm like, or
Yeah.
I forget a word, and I just wrote it down, and I saw it. I've said it 3 times, but now because the camera is rolling, it's out of my mind, and I'm like, come back.
Yeah.
So stop, man.
I promise you, it goes just that way. I promise you. Hey, good morning, Tina from Craft by D Road. She said, good morning, Jeanette and Ursula. I gave you a thumbs up already. You didn't have any ads, Jeanette. Hello, everyone in the chat. You know, they give ads how they want to. Gamer Bro, good morning. How are you? You say, hey, how are you doing today? I am doing well. And everyone in the chat. The voiceover is a job. And so you think in your mind, it's really easy to say, hey, I'm in a store, whatever, whatever. But as soon as you start recording, your words get lost, they get twisted, they just escape your brains altogether. And I have done voiceover so many times where I'm like, I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm just going to play music. I don't even know. I can't express what I'm trying to say. So,
But
okay,
you're
let's put the
yeah, but you're
video
doing
on
a
pause
great
and put
job.
music on because I can't get my words out. I could not, sometimes I can't get my words out. I don't know.
You know what I
It's,
did was what I do is even before that 1 to 10 that goes wrong, I actually start saying because I watched what I've filmed and I know it's listen, it's a short, it's under 1 minute, it's 57 seconds. So I watch what I'm seeing and I'm like, whoa, this is too much. Okay, write down keywords. Ta-da, ta-da. Okay, at least what's the name of that thing? Ta-da. So now I've got the envelope. I just grabbed an envelope, wrote on the back of it. The envelope, that. Press play for the music in the background. Talking, bump, bump, stumble, do over. And that's how it goes. So the struggle is real, but we're doing
yeah.
it. Hello, sweetie.
Hi, you guys can see me?
Hi, Elaine.
Hi,
Yeah, we
I'm
can
waiting
see
for my
you.
Wi-Fi.
Hey, Crystal from Divergent Crafter. How are you today? Yes. How are you, Elaine? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. I've been MIA. I'll be honest. I've been
I'm doing
MIA.
good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I've been MIA for a few days because you have to do that. You really, really have to do that. So, Elaine, you're doing good. We are glad. Yes.
Yes, thank you
So,
for asking. Right when I'm getting on, my family's getting home, but I'll see what I could do, okay?
But isn't that the way it
okay.
is? That's the way it is.
Yeah. But thanks for the invite. Yeah, I'm doing really good. And yes, sometimes we do need a break from the YouTube to just relax our minds, our brain, our eyes. And here they go.
All righty. I
All right,
understand.
I'm going to put the mic on for 1 second, guys.
Okay. Let's see. You say, I know how you feel. Where do the thoughts and words go when we need them most? I mean, it really escapes me. Mine's do the countdown, and sometimes I over talk the video or I under talk the video, and I'm like, okay, how long do I need to talk? So I have to go to the end of the video and remember that picture right there so I can know to stop talking at that point. Because sometimes I'm
Stop talking in
talking too
time.
much.
Yes.
Stop talking in time. Stop talking in time. Stop talking in time. And I'm like, cut it off. Or I'm talking, I didn't talk long enough. And I'm like, oh my goodness. You said I am okay,
Yes.
just enjoying the sunny Sunday morning. That is awesome. Crystal from Divergent Crafter. That is awesome for you all to have those beautiful sunny days. We are still in winter.
It's
Still
today's
have to
2nd
wear
of April, Nick. I cannot believe next week is Easter. It is unbelievable. And you know, with us in South Africa, every Easter it rains. That's when it's
yeah.
Easter sort of ushers in the rainy season. So it's just amazing how, like clockwork, we used to go camping every Easter weekend, and every Easter weekend it would rain until, the penny drops and you sort of say, what's the use here? Maybe not camping in the rain. So that took a while.
Ah, yes, that's okay. Yeah, like I said, Friday, the rain was just so aggressive. It flooded our streets. A lot of people got stranded in the store. I just went out in it. It was raining so hard. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna stay in this store. I gotta go home. And yes, my vehicle got wet and my food got wet. I said it would dry and I'm still gonna eat it, but I can't stay in this store. I just can't. I gotta get out. I feel trapped. So I got out and got out. But here's the thing. That's why it's so important to enjoy your day, enjoy your evening, just enjoy your life. Why? We are already in April. Okay. So these days are expeditionally going fast. And you like, okay, where did February go? Are we already in April? And in April, if you don't pay attention to what are you doing in April, June will be here. May will be just out the window. You be like, are we in June? So the months, the days, the years, they can really escape you, right, Ursula? It can really escape you. So
if you blink after April, May is gone. Oh yes.
If you took a nap in April, you're gonna wake up in June. You say we had really
that is terrible.
Yeah, our winds was so bad. I wasn't for sure if everything would be okay today, but it's not raining right now. It's just, it's just cooler weather. I don't have
I want to tell you this.
Cooler weather.
You see this?
Hold on.
You see this needle with this point eye? This is, you all know this, but this is new to me. But I am so enjoying this. That point. Oh, yeah. If you're working, it just grabs in the first 3 stitches so nicely. Instead of, I bought some of the ordinary ones, but this one with that hook is. It's very, they recommend it for amigurumi, obviously with those little things that they crochet. Yeah. You've got to get in there. But even working in all these ends, it is working. Yeah. It's just when your tools are good, it makes the job better. It's like working with yarn that's nice, that you love, a hook that you enjoy, scissors that's pretty. It makes everything comes together.
Sorry about that, Jeanette. About just a few minutes ago, my family.
You're outside now.
I'm in the back porch. Yeah,
that's okay.
She said it was cold outside to wear a sweater, but it's beautiful out here, and I have this thick sweater on. So I'm having coffee.
All right.
So, I've learned that sun does not equal heat. No. That just equals daylight, but that does not equal heat.
I know. I haven't been outside yet, but for the back porch, it does get cold in here sometimes, but it feels good. Well, this is an indoor porch.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Hi, everyone that came in. I made a sunroom. Sorry, let me just fix that. I made a few of them. Can I share?
Yes.
Sure. Let me put you solo.
Oh my gosh, that sun. Okay. Well, maybe you already saw this. I'm not sure, but this is my new turtle.
Oh yes. Oh, I love it. I love how it's coming out. Oh, and I like the color you chose for that.
Yeah, this shell. This is thank you. This is 2 yarns combined together with the mainstay is the green. This really light one is the Big Twist Sparkle, like a teal color, like a mint color. It doesn't look like that on camera, but in person, you can see it more minty. And so anyway, so what I did was these 2 rows, I combined those 2 together. And then this one here is just 2 strands of the green. And then this is one strand of the green and one strand of the big twist. And I kept going like that. That's why I gave it that look. And then the bottom is just big twist and Walmart's brand is the green and the brown.
I love it.
Yeah. And then I made some jellyfishes. My daughters for Christmas did not buy me yarn, guys. Like, you know, like really. But anyways. I'm grateful for what they got me. So my eldest daughter went to the Dollar Tree, and for my stocking, she bought me these two little skeins of yarns at the Dollar Tree with this Chanel from Pioneer.
Oh, cute.
Oh, so cute. It's so cute.
Yeah. He's not,
so
these are whips. This one's not done yet because I have to sew this in. But
you mean the ends?
yeah,
Are you talking about the pesky ends? They have to be worked in.
yes, and I'm going to, and I need to embroider some lips and some eyelashes, but he's my second one. So this is the mango color one with one skein. I made him. Okay,
Wow.
and then this is a number 6 super bulky 6 yarn, and I used a number 6 crochet hook, and this is the boy.
So cute.
That's the boy, and this is supposed to be the girl. But I'm going to make her a bow and everything. And then last night on my live, I was on live yesterday, and I was just working on this little guy here. He's not done neither. He's another whip, but he's almost done. So I can make work on him.
Oh, I love that ombre, that's the change of color. It's like
This is the Red Heart Super Saver. What is it? Oh my gosh!
I would love that in a mosaic blanket. Ooh, that would look like on fire.
Yes, this is that stripe color. Somebody help me out here. It's a very popular one. It'll come to me, guys. But yeah. So I
can't help you because we don't have that in South Africa. Otherwise, I could help you. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't have the thing, the ball, but I say it on my video, but I can't believe I forgot, but because I love this color.
No,
but these
Jeanette,
two colors
are talking about the forgetting thing.
I'm sorry?
Jeanette and I have just been talking about the forgetting thing.
Oh, okay.
So don't you worry.
This is the oh my god, retro stripe. There you go, retro stripe. From
I just have to interrupt you enough times, then there it comes.
Yeah, sorry. I know, right? My brain's out. The cells are working now. And so these colors come in one skein. So I color control this. And then I'll do the other one this color. But they're so much fun to make. And this is like a one-day project. Very easy peasy. Beginner friendly.
One-day project. Oh my word.
You know, if you're not too busy.
Not too busy, but it looks like if you can do it well.
Awesome.
And the turtles too, they could be a one-day project. I mean, it's very easy to make. And the reason
listen, for me, definitely not one day, but I appreciate that you are talented, and it's beautiful. But one day, spell me. Mwah! Big hugs.
Miss Classy Jeanette and my darling Ursula. Hey, sweet Elaine. Hello, everybody in chat.
Yes, Granny.
You're looking fantastic, Granny.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Fun Day Sunday. Even if it's just
you're looking relaxed
for a little bit,
Thank
right?
you.
You got it.
Are you feeling relaxed? You're looking relaxed.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still not, 100%, but I'll get there.
You're looking fantastic. Oh, thank you. See you. Look at the full panel.
The Lord's helping for all the prayers I do. I just am so thankful. Yes, they do.
Prayers.
Amen. You're going to be fine.
The doctors, the urologist, I said, pray for me. And he said, I sure will. And that might just make my heart just leap when, I get a doctor that I know will and is in that.
Yes.
Believe what I
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The doctors,
Sorry, Jeanette?
doctors are.
Yeah. And even
Yes.
the lady that drew my blood, I don't know how we got on the subject of it also with her, but she said, yes, I totally believe in the Lord and the power of prayer. And I said, you go, sister.
Amen. You're
too.
healed in Jesus'
Listen.
name.
Oh, yes. I
I
put
don't
my aim
Amen.
into that as well.
By
And
his
I'm
stripes,
always
we're
praying
healed.
for all
Ursula,
you
thank
guys.
you.
And like Jeanette said, we are all in need of prayer.
Oh, yes.
Oops.
This
We
whole
are
wide world
Did I
all
does.
breathe for a
in
minute?
need.
Yep, whether we know it or not. Hey,
Amen.
I never turn down a
Well,
prayer.
not that you don't have to be, just because people don't share their woes don't mean they ain't got them. They got them, and
Right.
they sometimes
The
just
best
Yeah, a
time
lot
to
of
say
pray
people
is
so.
don't
before
feel
someone needs prayer, eh?
comfortable doing that. And I understand that. Oh, Jeanette,
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
your earrings too, girlfriend.
I know they're
yeah.
cute.
I love the way they hang. It's just gorgeous.
Thank you. I always
I love it,
try
love
to
it.
do, when I come live, I try to be a little bit fancy. I try, guys. It doesn't always work,
Hey,
but at least I try.
you are classy. When I write type classy, your name is the predictive text that comes up after that word.
You're so sweet.
Yeah,
Oh, she's so
she is.
sweet.
Jeanette, you should be
Guys,
saying, Granny D, I make these earrings look good. They don't make me look good. I make them look good.
Right, right. And her head wraps, I always love them. She's just always
That's a good one.
put together, I
and
say. She's put together.
I get these hair wraps right from the dollar store, not from the dollar store. Well, I get it from the dollar store too, but from my local beauty supply store. I pay under
How
$4
about
for
that?
'em. I always
And
get compliments, and I
Angie with her bows, big bows that she wears in her
say,
hair, she gets those from Dollar Tree. Or a
yeah.
lot of them.
Urs-
Oh,
Ursula
wow.
just blessed a Dance World with a membership, and also she blessed Margaret with a membership.
Yeah.
Wow,
Thank you.
awesome.
Woo! I don't, those of you who don't know, when you do a gift membership, you don't get to choose. It's YouTube who chooses who gets it. But still,
Well,
And I
I
kind of like
appreciate
that
it.
because
I
I'd want to
appreciate
give
it.
everybody one, I
I
kind of
know,
like
me
that
too.
YouTube does. Yeah.
My funds is not set up that way, but thank you.
That
Aisha,
way,
handmade.
feelings don't get hurt. Yeah. I think that's the best
yes.
way to do it.
A-
I don't know.
Aisha, handmade.
It never comes up where I can gift memberships. Did you have to do something so that you can do
Yes,
that?
you press on the $ for a super chat. Then one of the, let me just click there. You see the talking thing, and now it's live. Then it has super sticker, super chat, membership gifting. And if you're a member, it has free member milestone chat, which tells
Yeah,
wow,
you
that's
I
awesome.
get that one, but I don't ever see the one for the gift and membership.
It's between free membership and super chat. It normally lies there. If someone has it on their channel, but probably if YouTube put it there, because I didn't put it there.
Maybe it just
YouTube
doesn't
put
work
it
on my phone. Maybe it would work on Chromebook.
Oh, I can't check for you now. I cannot check.
It's okay. It's all right.
Sometimes
I wish I could.
what works for one
I
page
said,
don't work for all of them. Yeah. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Aisha. Did I miss anyone? Thank you so much for being here. And let me play this for Ursula since she blessed. I appreciate that so much. And I'm sure they do too. Let me see. I'm telling you, Granny D, I'm just like you. Working on this phone, I just don't know what I be clicking on sometime. What am I clicking on now, guys?
It's difficult because
Yeah, I
everything's so
don't have
slow.
any of that because I just don't get it. And I hadn't really tried. But yeah, even if I had it set up, I'd probably be pushing wrong buttons all the time. But
I
they are
tell you,
cute.
I'm the same way, Granny D. I am trying.
And you know, when I taught,
Lydia,
I used to
Lydia,
put other.
Yarnworks.
I used to. Teachers would pay me to keep their. We all had a page like the parents could find and click on to see, you know, what we were teaching that week and just whatever work assignments and different things. And some teachers just it tore them out of their frame to think they had to do that. So they'd write it on a piece of paper and pay me, you know, $20, whatever, to do their page for them. And I enjoyed it. It was fun. But now,
not so much.
Sometimes we do something and we think, if I have to do that now, I can't think that I did that because how would I even do it now? You know, it's like you did it as second nature way back. Now you have to do it and you're like,
right.
Whoa, I don't, how again? How?
It's a whole different ball game now.
Okay, I'm starting on the other side. Okay,
educated now.
You see all these ends? I'm starting on the other side. I've just finished the one side. So now I'm starting on the other side. All those. Ooh, they've got attitude.
That's pretty.
Granny D, do you think you could be an educator? Can you be, Granny D, with everything changing in schools nowadays, do you think you could be an educator at this time?
No.
Amen. You know, we were discussing
Number
that.
One, my memory. Y'all know my memory is shot. I don't know where it went, but it's pretty much gone. Y'all are talking about five.
No, but you know what? The children that you teach today is some of the children.
Well, you
are
know,
incredibly.
It wasn't about the kids.
Wow.
You know, you'd always have a few knuckleheads, and you had parents.
There's more than a few now.
But it's not so much that; it's all the bull that the state is trickled down from the state and from the Fed.
Yes.
All that Common Core mess, teach to the test mess. It was just so stressful. Who'd ever thought teaching fourth grade would be stressful? But they were even doing it in kindergarten, you know.
Granny, can I just tell you that when I was working at our education center, we used to get a lot of teachers who finished their degree and they've been teaching a year or two and they just say they can't do it. They want to teach private.
Exactly.
Because if you teach private, not only is the money better, but you also get children that are small groups and more manageable and
better behave because
you're not just the only one. Yes, yes, they are definitely, and you have an assistant. Whereas with these huge classes, you have an assistant, but wow,
I even have assistants now. When I was my last year or two there, we shared an assistant between 7 teachers, which meant we got 1 hour a day. And you know what that was? You know, that was clerical. So we couldn't have any. You know, we had kids that could use the one-on-one, and we were supposed to be doing one-on-one. And I might have a class of 32 kids. How am I going to do that?
Yeah, my friend is a teacher's assistant, and she tells me in the high school, and she's a teacher assistant in the high school, and she told me she's so glad her kids are not in public school right now. They're all grown. And
I taught middle school my first 12 years. Now that was really my challenge. I call that my tour of duty in Vietnam. Those kids were so hormonal. And I was too. They knew how to push my buttons, and my buttons could be pushed. They just soon cuss you as look at you. And not all of them, of course. And I felt
not all of
really
them.
bad for the kids who were well behaved, came to get an education, because so much of my time was spent with discipline.
My daughter used to say, she would come to me and she would say, Mama, today the children made this one teacher cry. And I would be like, oh my word. Especially if it's a new teacher, young teacher.
Yeah, that's what we get a lot of times, because our school and one other school were the two schools in our big district. I don't know how many schools we had in our school system, but it was a lot. The school I taught in and one other were not. I mean, if you told people or another teacher that you weren't there, they'd pat you on the back or give you a hug and say, I'm so sorry. You know, and I was so excited because that was my first job. And like you say, a new teacher just coming out of college. And I saw so many. I mean, I hung in there for 12 years until I got a job at the elementary school where I went and where my daughters went, and was like a minute from my house. But oh Lord, I went from Vietnam to Beulah land. But we did have quite a few, Ursula, like you said, teachers that were brand new. They'd come and they'd be crying and they'd leave in the middle of their first day. That's just how bad it was.
Wow.
You know, on social media right now, all I'm seeing is teachers quitting. I quit. They saying the students are untainable. The parents is not supportive. The principal is not supportive. And they feel threatened. They feel like they are going to lose their cool. And so if they do decide to lose their cool, their class students don't have any problem with being physical with a teacher. We could never do that to a teacher.
I don't remember.
Never even talk back to a teacher.
Yes, that's what I was saying when I went to school. I don't remember.
You better hold your tongue, because they was going to call your parent. And if your parent had to come up to that school, that was going to be double trouble. Okay.
And see, and then when I was there, the parent believed their child or grandchild. A lot of these were being raised by their grandparent because the parents were in prison or whatever. And it was awful. But yeah, they were loaded for bear. You might as well just sit back and take it and just let them have their say and go on.
I tell you, my mom that was not my mom. My mom would probably smack us right in front of the teacher.
Yeah. The parents in prison. Oh my word. Hello to
a lot of them were, and then you'd find out that the kids you taught got murdered.
Yeah,
did the murder?
No, but the thing is that she did not expect those words to come out of your mouth. The thing is, I've been in lives where Granny D, you don't realize the entertainment value is so high when I watch your lives and when I'm in the tent, and I'm laughing out loud because I'm like, she made a comment and I thought, I did not see that sentence coming. Oh my word, it's funny.
Granny D after dark.
Granny D, you missed your calling. Hey, Lori. Listen,
yeah, a lot of people told me that, you know.
Listen, the school system nowadays, everything that I'm hearing about education, regardless if you are in a private school, a public school, or a charter school, whatever the school is, children going to be children, okay? And when teachers don't feel like the parents have their back, or, you know, the principal has their back, it just make their jobs a little bit more harder. You know, you're not
you're just stuck. You know, you have 31 other kids you've got to teach while that one's going crazy.
I'm sorry. That's the mistake parents do today. When the teacher, when they take the side of the child without really finding out
I was
what
thinking,
really
I've got
happened.
this school year to deal with this child. They've got the rest of their lives or that child's life to deal with whatever they're
So they know.
creating.
They know.
Yeah.
The parents do. I refuse to think that the parents don't know how their children are really acting. Not my child. Are you kidding? You think I don't have anything better to do than pick out children and call their parents and, but,
They'd be mad that you called them on their job or whatever,
Yeah, they'd be like, how dare you say that about my child?
Right. And I only would do that when I've tried several times to get them at home, later at night or whatever.
That happened to me. That happened to me where the teacher was calling me in my job and, saying that whatever was going on. And I had to put my foot down. I said, if this teacher down my number again, you might as well go and drop out and start a job because there's no need for you and I to be homeless. So let's both of us just work. But you got to know that it got to be some truth to what these teachers are saying. You cannot make them feel like
we don't have time to make up this stuff.
And can I say something? Most of the parents already know their kids and they know if they're really acting up in school.
Jeanette was saying
because they're not going to act like that at school and be all goody two-shoe at home. There's something going on at the home and they bring it to the school. So yeah, some of these parents, shame on them because they know. I don't know when my kids misbehave or anything like that. I always listen to the teacher, the counselors, and I dealt with it the way I had to deal with it. My youngest was always good, but I'm talking about my oldest.
And when the test scores would come back bad, who got in trouble?
The parents.
Me.
No, the teacher.
No, these days
I got in trouble if the test scores were bad. The principal came to me and said, why did you not teach this skill, that skill, the other skill to these kids? And me and a coworker got that. I only remember us being in trouble one year. And that was one of the worst years. And this was the Beulah Land School. And it's a charter school now. But this class of children since kindergarten had been a handful.
Oh, wow.
And this principal knew it. She had to have known it. And I loved her to death. We got along always. But I was kind of flabbergasted that she came to, it was the two of us. We had 3 on a team. But the one teacher had left for, she had a baby. So she was out on maternity leave. These kids were so talkative and everything, there were so many discipline problems and that whole class. I mean, sure, we had some good ones. And again, I felt sorry for those kids. But yeah, and I just flat told her, I said, so-and-so, this class of kids. You know they've been not just my class, but this whole 4th grade class. Since kindergarten, these teachers have been telling you what's what.
Wow.
Don't act surprised. We did what we did our job.
We did what we could.
What else can we do? We can't take our hand and make them mark the right thing on this test. Some of them would take the test and be done in 20 minutes on a 3-hour test or 2-hour part of the test.
Yeah, I believe
would let my kids lay their head down on their desk. I would not let them draw on their piece of paper. They just had to sit up and sit straight up and do nothing.
Yes, I believe education continues at the home, not only school. The parents should sit down and help them if they have a problem with math, English, whatever it is, even get a tutor or online courses.
There are a lot of parents who did that, but that one year, that was something.
Lori say, I'm working in an urban public high school. school between cell phones, social media, IA, COVID, political pressure over and under involved parents. It's challenging for sure. It's just a combination of things. Nana
Wow.
Michelle,
It is.
Nana Donna said what you said. Donna said, let's see. She said, my grandson Elijah is autistic. He gets in trouble a lot at school, and they're always texting. Ruby not calling, texting. It really makes me mad that they don't put him in a special need class. And some children do need to be in special need classes.
Well, if
Tina
he's
from
been
Crab
diagnosed,
Valley
like she
Road said,
says, yeah, then he needs to be in a
I
special
think they should
class.
already have him. Yeah, he should already be in a special educational type of class. Hello, she said, deal with the kids for a few minutes. You can deal with that bad kids for the rest of your life. It's no joke for a teacher, because I am just hearing so many horror stories happening. You all are so funny today about those kids, but those kids mess up everything for the other children who's trying to come there and get an
And I always
education.
felt so bad for that, because we were constantly having to spend. And what we ended up doing when we didn't have the backing of the parents, grandparents, principal, assistant principal, was I had fourth grade and another fifth grade teacher who was known for being super duper strict, tough. She didn't take no junk. And we worked out a thing where she had a kid that was just giving her the blues a lot, and same thing with me. She'd send her fifth grade kid down to fourth grade and have to bring all their books. She'd send them with their assignment, and they had to sit there and be quiet and do whatever. And they were there was humiliation in that for them.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I could never be a teacher.
And same thing, I would say, I had a little girl. She was way out there. I don't know what. She really needed something more than we could give her more. And the thing with the what are they called in the schools that they deal with the testing but talk with the kids when they have problems? Counselor. Okay, y'all talking about can't find your words. School counselor. There's no way they had one school counselor per school. There was no way, and they had all these other duties too. So, but this kid really needed some kind of counseling. She just decided she was just strange anyway. But she'd just go around, crawl around on the floor while I'm teaching or while they're doing an assignment and meow like a kitty cat. That was just one weird thing she did. Finally, I had enough of that. Well, everybody knew about her, and if whoever ended up getting her in class, they just went, oh, bless your heart.
But that sounds to me like the child could have been on the spectrum, because they really do.
Parents were really out there too. When they came, they were like mega different. I'll just be nice and say different.
Yes, because I said I think on Friday on my live, I thought, well, as a parent of a special needs child, I think one can, should be allowed some leeway to say something because you're actually living it, whereas other people might just be judging or whatever. But I tell you, because we were on Friday, we were really going deep. But I was saying when I mentioned that my son had, when he had 30% healing, he had like 70% of like crazy behavior. Now, when I say that, someone might say, "Oh, you can't say someone with autism is crazy." And I'm like, I want to say, have you lived with a person with autism that has not had intervention? That behavior is so way out of the norm and so difficult to deal with. It can drive the parent nuts.
This was back when you hardly ever heard the word autism.
Yes. So
so we didn't know how to deal with it. And that's,
Yeah,
you know, when
that's
she would act out, and she was so smart. She was probably about genius level smart, but she was just very different.
the behavior was not, maybe it was
And
a
I would
sensory
try to
issue,
love
maybe
on her and give her as much positive attention as I could. But, you know, you just couldn't all the time with 31 other kids in the class.
That's the thing. My daughter's tutor also said she was an assistant in her day job, I say until 2 p.m. 3 p.m. she'd come to my house and help my daughter from 3 to 5 p.m. as a way of earning extra money. So now, and she used to tell me there's so many children in the class that I attend in the day that I know need this one-on-one that I'm giving your daughter in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So, hello, Yanam Sheila. How are you doing, my sweetheart?
Hey,
Everyone coming in. Sorry, Jeanette. We're talking so much today. You see, you want that thing with the panel that you can just throw the comments that you want, because I know to keep up with the comments and the chat and the panel is like, it's an art.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
what happened to me.
Jeanette just go like that kind of stuff.
Can I say something? I have a brother. My father remarried, so I have a stepbrother. He's very artistic. He has autism. But when I went, he never put a foot in the United States when I went to visit him. My father and his two older, very smart sisters did not know a word in English. But when I went over there, he spoke to me and my youngest daughter in English, like if he lived here. And I asked him, how did you learn to speak English? Because in the public schools in Puerto Rico, you only get one class of English. So I said, how did you learn to speak English? And he said, I just taught myself just watching TV and all that with the subtitles. And he graduated high school.
A Spanish notebook, because we had kids who came not knowing a word of English or their parents.
You know, my son did that. My son was raised Afrikaans, and he will always tell me, English, please, English, please. So he wants me to speak English to him because he taught himself English and by subtitles on movies. And it usually takes him 3 months from saying, you know, all the body language that's going on in a movie. If you're clever and he's clever, he can pick up what's going on in the movie without, and then he's got the subtitles and he's reading this. And then it takes usually 3 months. Yeah. For instance, he was watching the Three Little Pigs, and in this video, at some point, one of the little piggies did wrong, and he said, "Sorry, Mama." Now, 3 months later, I scolded him for something, and he pipes up with, "Sorry, Mama," in an American accent, rolling those R's. "Sorry, Mama." Now, it was said at the right time, appropriate time, as if, and I mean, I know but that's what he does. He learns the language from the television like that, and then it takes 3 months, and then he applies it at the right place. So, but it's still not where it should be, but it communicates. I mean, he can communicate. He can tell me he wanted to go out today. That's why we went out. And he would write, he would say he wants to go to this place and to this place, and thereafter to this place. So I said, okay, today's your outing. Papa and I will take you out. We're going to this, and then we're going there, then we're going there. Totally had fun.
Now,
but
Renee
he did that
thing.
Yes,
sorry,
the kids are very smart.
Yeah, Renee said, I also feel like too many people, older teens, are overexposed to social media. And if I see one more account influencer that has autism, no, it's obviously that they are just posting for likes. And it's I think it's sad that they would use their disability.
Yeah, that's terrible.
A label.
Right. You know what I mean? I think that's cruel to people, especially to parents who has to deal with that type of behavior, because your child don't become 18 and move out and go on in life. No, when you got to have those children You're going to be with them for a very long time.
Probably
Susanna
forever,
said, my two
right?
oldest kids.
No, my son will
forever, really.
I can't see that.
Susanna
I can't
said, my
at
two
the moment. I
oldest
can't see my
kids
son moving
had
out
great teachers.
ever.
Right.
Yeah. My two oldest kids have great teachers, and we had excellent communication. But my youngest, I fought for ADHD evaluation for 6 years, and he had a really tough time in school. So sometimes, but you know what? Sometimes parents don't even want to accept that their children have a disability. It's not
And there are
degrading.
so many that parents that would ask for the evaluation and that they got through. I mean, that they were identified. And
You know what we did with our
there's so many
ADHD
more
children?
kids now that have this than years ago.
With our ADHD children, we allowed them to chew gum in the class because it keeps their
I
they've got to do something.
mine to stand at the back of the room if they needed to, or walk around back there or whatever, as long as they didn't bother any of the other kids and were, quiet.
We also let them sit on,
I found out I had no H. I need some H. I need hyperactivity. But y'all know my brain squirrels, and I was medicated for it while I was at work, and it made a tremendous difference. And I saw it in students too. But
these big balls you get for aerobics, or how do you call occupational therapy? It's it's a soft ball, and we would let them use that as a chair, so they can sort of little sit and bounce if they want to, and they would get a thing that they could squash to bounce if they want to, instead of, which is very annoying, taking their pencil or pen and clicking it on the table or whatever to distract. So there's a lot of things one can do in the class, especially if you have small classrooms, to help the child to focus more. We would even let them, between the bell goes for this class, they have to go to the next class. We let them run once around the school, come and sit down to get rid of some of the energy, and so many things one can do. But I know you can't do it in bigger classes. So
yes, Angie. Amen to that.
She said,
what did she say?
She said, this is why more time and money needs to be invested. Invested in the
That's
school
always
system.
been the way.
There are children who have autism, processing disorder, abuse, ADHD, etc. And you are absolutely right, Angie. You are, because some of these behavior is not disability. Some of them is being abused. And now,
like I said, the kids need the counselor, but there's only one per school, and there's just
so then the parents could also take them to a counselor,
right?
If they have the insurance,
right?
Benita, how are you? Yeah,
Benita. Because one of my daughters got really depressed at school because she was being bullied, and from a very young age, 7, and I had to take her to counseling.
And that's another thing. We've got to watch out for that kind of stuff going on.
Oh, that was going on
in
a lot.
The classroom, between classes, out on the playground. And
not only that, and the teachers need to stop being naive about it, because experience. My daughter's teacher was young, maybe fresh out of college. I'm not sure. She was 26 or something. And when my daughter came to me, told me what happened at school, because I saw a change. My sweet little girl was not sweet. She looked miserable, depressed, locked up in her room, acting, like antisocial. So anyways, I went and asked my daughter. She told me. So I went to the school and I talked to the teacher, and I called her, talked to her about it. And she did nothing about it until it got to the point. I told her who the little girl was. Until it got to the point, mind you, my daughter was 7. Until it got to the point that the little girl pushed her down the stairs.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
And then I said, no more talking to the teacher. I went to the principal. And so the principal came and brought her into the room. And the principal asked her that if I had a discussion with her about what's going on with my kid and her class and all this stuff. She goes, yes, I am aware of that. I said, yes, but you also told me that you said to me that this is just a girl thing. They will get over it. It's just a girl thing.
Girls can
So
be so
you were telling me
mean.
that a 7-year-old who, oh, and by the way, the other 7-year-old, she looked like she was 12. She was one of those tall girls, too tall to be in that class, in that grade. And my daughter was skinny, puny little thing. I mean, she could break her in half. Okay. So I told her, I threw her under the bus right in front of the principal because now my daughter's getting hurt. And now I have to deal with her depression, anxiety, and not the teacher and not the school.
Yeah, kids kill themselves over these bullies.
Mm-hmm. And so I told the principal, you know, I said no. She told me to not really worry about it. It's just a little girl's arguments, little girl's things. She's gonna grow out of it. They're gonna stop. And now my daughter's at the bottom of the stairs. And then it gets worse. So then the principal said, I want a meeting with the girls. I want a meeting with the mother of the parents. So can you please schedule that? She never did. I called the school.
Yeah, they don't want that.
She never scheduled it. But you know what, guys, what you could do? I remember, I started thinking, we're going to wait until her mother picks her up at school. Yeah. We're going to wait because they're in the same line. I said, we're going to wait till her mother picks her up. So her mother came and picked her up. And I introduced myself and I told her everything was going on. Now that mother she was like my mother. She didn't put up. She was putting her in her place in front of us. I mean, to the point I felt a little bad for her, but then I thought, no, I got to feel bad for my daughter, you know? Yeah. And she was putting her in her place. He goes, look at you. Look at that little girl, that little puny little thing. You could kill her, you know? And she was like I thought she was going to hit her. But let me tell you what happens when two parents come together when a situation like this happened, and then the parent is handling it and not saying, oh no, not my child, you know what I mean, and let the kid get away with it. What happened was, guys, I'm gonna make it short so I don't want to take too much time. What happened was that at the end the girl learned her lesson and asked my daughter to be her friend, and they end up being friends.
That's great.
Wow. Oh, that's good news.
There should be a whole lot more stories like that.
Yes,
I'm sure.
But I'm just telling you an example how some teachers are very naive. Maybe they just don't want to deal with it, or inexperienced.
I don't think they're naive. It's that they're overwhelmed. I think it's so many complaints like this. You know, some of them just get tossed to the side. Not everyone gets their undivided attention. So I think they just don't want to deal. But
yes, that's a lot of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is a lot of it. But when the teacher tells the parent, I could see if she would have said that to me, or she would have at least said, Elaine, I will look into it. I apologize. Yeah. I'm gonna see what's going on.
There are teachers who do not have, how can I say, the skills to deal with it.
Yeah,
and then they should call in other help. You know,
those
so there's always both ways.
Those teachers come to school with their curriculums to educate whatever subject they have. They are not there to be referees. They are not there to be counselors. They are not there to be doctors. They have one job and one job only, to teach whatever class that I'm teaching. Now we have to include all these other things that the teachers have to be security for themselves. They got to be counselors. They got to be all these other jobs that they don't even get paid for. So sometimes some things going to get missed, but I'm glad that worked out for you.
Yeah. But she also has to have control of her class because she's the adult there. Those are 7-year-olds. She has to have control of her class.
Some 7-year-olds nowadays can be brutal.
Oh, yeah. I learned that very quickly, unfortunately.
I used to, when I taught middle school, try to break up.
I realized even kindergartens can be deadly. I thank God for my son's specialized school. It's tuition free, but we had to go through the lottery. So many kids are not given this opportunity. School is so hard nowadays. It's different kinds of bullying. And then let me see what somebody else said. It's a lot. I don't want to make any excuse for anyone, but this is what I would say. It's a lot. Angie say we need to ask why our children have so many more issues than we did as children, mentally and physical. I have some ideas why. I do too. I have some ideas as why.
Right, Angie,
are
like
saying-
I was saying, just, all the ADHD kids, and we didn't hear about that we didn't even know what that was when I was a kid growing up.
But then again, when we was growing up, it wasn't as many children with those type of situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but why?
I don't know.
I have an idea why, but
here's the thing.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But I have an idea why these kids are coming out with autism. But
let me say this. The scariest form of bullying happens online or through social media, from schoolmates.
Oh, yes.
And
yes,
when then you said, because it happens outside of school, they can't do anything. And then Suzanne said, I will cry myself to sleep some nights because I felt so sad. He's the sweetest boy. He just needed extra support with school. I don't know if it's Elaine, I'm with you. I kind of know why, but I think it's in the food, y'all. I don't know. But anyway, you say yes, overwhelmed, underpaid, overworked, 28 kids to 30 kids in the class. And here's the thing, y'all. The list goes on. The list goes, hey, Carol, how are you today? The list goes on, and all of us got our own perspective on it. Being a teacher, being a parent, or even knowing of school, it's a lot. I told my daughter about my grandchildren. Remember, I have an 8th grader. Mm-hmm. It's a lot on the children. It's a lot on the parents. It's a lot on the teachers. But if we're not going to come together collectively to support each other, then we all fighting against one another. If a teacher tells me my son is at the age where he likes girls, and I tell you, it's a slew of girls like him, okay? So when I go meet with the teacher and she tells me, your son, I don't know, he's at that age, 8th grade, these girls like him, what do I say? You're wrong. They like my son. My son is not doing what you say he's doing. Absolutely not. I told him, listen, you're going to like girls, and I'm glad you do, but these are not the only girls you're going to like. You're going to like other girls in high school, but girls can be a distraction. So I don't want these girls to distract you from your work. This is my conversation to my son. As a mother to a daughter, and I raised a daughter, I told my daughter the same thing. You're going to have a lot of boys like you. That don't mean that you got to entertain all these boys. So what, you like me? I'm a pretty girl. I'm a handsome boy. But I think when we are fighting against one another, the teachers against the parents against the students against the principal, that's why it's so much chaos. And they took a lot of disciplinary things out of the school. There's no disciplinary actions nowadays. I mean, it used
consequences.
To be,
when I came,
I
graduated in the early, like 84, and I never paddled a student. That was passe by the time I was a teacher.
When I was a child, we got the cane on the hand, and the boys got the cane on the butt. I tell you. And I said to my husband,
there was that going on, it basically had to be okayed by the parent at the beginning of the school year. That was one of the papers they signed or didn't sign.
Yeah.
And the principal or assistant principal handled the discipline. But we didn't touch them.
Well, you can't do that no more, because now they send letters home that even if we discipline our children, they can call some type of service on us. So when the children feel like there's no disciplinary from the school or at home because I'll call this number on you, what do you expect these children to do?
Yeah, CPS.
Melanie Crochet and Moore said, yes, I have 35 kids in 6 different classes. Administrators wants to let parents handle it, and parents want schools to raise their children.
Amen.
So
That's a
yeah,
problem.
some parents, yes, some parents, because they sit back and do nothing, and they want the teacher to handle everything or teach their children
Well,
even to behave.
pray. We all need to pray for
Yes,
all
we
that
do.
situation. Yeah.
It is. I said that I send my son to school to get an education. I don't need you to parent them. I do the disciplinary here. When you go out that door, this is my expectations of you. I have a responsibility as a parent. You have a responsibility as a son. Do your job and let me do my job. Don't make my job hard and I won't make your job hard. But we all got a role here. And this is what I tell my son. I said, we all got a role. We leaving out this house, going to jobs we don't always care for, but we trying to provide for each other. So don't make my job hard and don't make your teacher job hard. I got to deal with just you. This teacher got to deal with 28 personalities, 30 personalities, so Lori said the most frequent and violent fighting in our schools is between girls and sometimes their mother, aunt, grandmothers over something that happened on social media.
Yes,
Mean girls.
and everybody's involved, grandmothers and aunts and everybody else, and it doesn't help the situation. I don't know, but I just want to say something, right? Because the principal and the teacher, well, mostly the principal, especially if there's a problem at the school, they're supposed to have the both parents meet up. So they didn't do that with me, right? And when my daughter got bullied that year, and I'll be really quick, we moved to Florida. But the lady downstairs from us was telling me she had a problem also with her daughter being bullied in the same school. So we moved to Florida. We moved. Then the news, I watched in the news that in that same school that my daughter went to where she was bullied, two parents were meeting at the principal's office because one daughter was beating up the other one. And that parent was arguing with the other parent, saying, oh, no, you're wrong. Back and forth, defending each other's daughter. They end up fist fighting and everybody end up in jail.
Oh,
That's what I'm
principal's office.
Yeah,
That's
I was
why-
really worried. I mean, I was like, hallelujah, yes, get me out of here, retirement, here I come. But I was really worried and still do about education and all these things we're talking about.
It's scary. I understand why a lot of parents are homeschooling and not allowing their child to be exposed to the school system. Yeah, a lot of people say, well, they need that engagement of being around other students, or children of their own age. Not if they're going to be fighting, not if they're going to be bullying, not if they're going to be having all this other stuff. Renee say, I would be damned some teacher hitting my kids. Nope, send them from school, expel them. They become the parents' full-time problem.
I'm thinking, and I never agreed with sending the kids home as a part of the discipline. That's yay for them.
Listen,
They may be home
when
alone
it's
because the parents working and they get to just do whatever. No,
She means
something
once
else.
the child
In
is
school
expelled.
suspension, maybe, but not out of school suspension.
Yeah.
Carol said, I use so many, you say, I see so many parents and the kids still act as if they have no good upbringing. Sometimes it's not the parent.
Oh yeah, it's not. No, we're not saying every case is the parent. No.
Yeah, there's always a case to be made for a teacher. There's a teacher wrong, or there's a teacher that was right, or there's a parent that was wrong, or a parent that was right. I think there's always that.
Right.
I agree.
I actually went to see my daughter's teacher, and I said to the teacher, grade 3, I want you to tell me if you've got any problems with my child. Anything. Is there anything that she does in the class that irritates you or you find disrespectful or whatever? Because I knew my child was on the spectrum, okay? So I knew that she could do certain things that would be interpreted as disrespectful, but she didn't mean it that way because she is, in her heart, she's the most respectful. And as she grew up and as she had more coaching, she couldn't stand kids who were not behaving right. So the teacher says to me, oh, no, there's nothing wrong. I said to her, okay, I can give you one example. You would say this or you would say that. She might laugh. it's an inappropriate response. You might interpret it as disrespect. What I want you to do is call her aside, tell her, when I tell you this is what I mean. I want you to do that. You're not allowed then to laugh because it's bad. Just use small words, whatever, tell her that. You do that once.
Understand.
The next time she acts wrong is you give one chance for humanity. The next time, if it happens a second time after you've warned her, you tell her, okay, I'm going to write a note to Mama. I will deal with it because I can get to her much more than you can ever dream to get to her. So, because I know my child, and never had a problem. So that works.
Yarn said basic good manners and kindness are free and should come from home. Education is from school and home. So it goes both ways. Laura said, what did Laura say? Laura said, if a kid got out of line when I was in school, they got it in the classroom, then the principal office, then at home, then at grandma, then at church. It wasn't worth it. Me too, Laura. Ours was the same way.
Amen.
We even got it from the crossing guard. The crossing guard be like, hey, I know your mom and your mom don't play that. And so we got it from every way. We are not allowed to homeschool.
And that's what it takes. You know, we talk about it takes a village to raise a child or whatever. That's it.
Oh, yes, that's the same. Yes.
Yeah. You said cops are at my school work every week. These kids brings weapons and do evil things now. I'm retiring early at 55 years old. This year in December, this Friday, the cops dismantled us from campus. Wow.
Melanie, good for you, honey. I retired at 52. Wow. I didn't get my 30 years in because of all the mess. And my daughter was in me to no end.
When my daughter was in middle school, a kid came with a knife. He had an argument with some other kid the day before, but he came with a knife to do him in. But the way the school handled all that was wrong, and that really scared me. I talk about it in my yesterday's life, but it was very terrible. A lot of these parents, when I was younger, I was bullied, and we have to defend ourselves. So we end up fist fighting, right? Fist fighting. These days, they don't do that. These days, it's guns and knives. And recently, some teenager killed some teenager out of high school.
Said a parent of one kid attacked another kid at Dismantle on her way to the bus after school because her daughter boyfriend looked at that girl and she smiled at him. This is school, not a club. Oh my goodness. You can't even, oh wow. My lawnmower started, so I'm going to leave you running out here while I finish.
Nana, Donna, go mow that yard. She enjoys that yard work.
I appreciate that. You said I went to a strict Catholic school and you did not want to end up in the principal nurse office. The nuns office, because they didn't play. See, I have a whole different parenting experience. I am barely raising a typical child that can talk or communicate. So I can't speak about how all these kids are in typical school environment.
Exactly, Renee. I also, in a way, I cannot relate to typical kids because I've only known my two kids, and they're both on the spectrum. So I know what huge role coaching plays, that you can coach them to a point where they are under the radar, shall we call it? Because if you meet my daughter today, you wouldn't think she's on the spectrum. She is socially appropriate. She is so well-mannered. She is polite. She's everything that you want to be in a friend. She's very popular with her friends because of that, etc. So you wouldn't even think that. And my son, even though he can't even, I introduced him to the new gardener on Friday. And I called the guy. His name is Chance. He's from Malawi. I called him and I said, "This is my son, Jonathan." I said, and he said, "Hi, how are you?" And so Jonathan goes, "Hi, how are you?" So I said, "He can't really speak." He says, "Oh,
You
why?"
parrot. Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously he's 24. My son's 22. He's like, why can't he speak? He looks so normal. That's a thing. So I said, well, let's say he's got autism, but he understands you. But it's like when you've had a stroke and the words won't come out of your mouth. You know what to say, but the right thing won't come out. So it just takes a while. But anyway, so just they said hello and whatever, and yeah. But so I can relate to what we were, typical children at school, my brother, my friends, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also another
Does
generation.
Jonathan have friends?
You cannot have friends if you cannot relate socially.
Communicate. Mm-hmm.
Well, even if you can't communicate, you can still have friends because you can either write, you can sign, but it's difficult when he loves being around people, and he will be socially appropriate. It's just when there's like Elaine, who's a little shorty, I'll have to tell him, don't go fast past Elaine. You might run her over because he doesn't see people as, I can't say he doesn't see, I'm not in his mind, but the point is he would treat people like soft toys, or, like something that you can move out of the way to get to wherever. And I'm like, no, you don't do that. You say this or you say that. So things that has been learned, coached, intervened, that is to a point where I can leave him in a shop. I can go to the other shop, come back, and he's 100% fine. That's why I say it was so funny. Once I got back to the Musica. Musica was big here, but it's closed down now. And he was going through DVDs, and a little lady that comes up to his shoulder, patted on his shoulder like, hey, she wanted to ask him something. She thought he was working there because he's going through the DVDs. He wants the one that he wants. And I touched her shoulder and I said, he doesn't work here. She says, oh no, I wanted to speak to him because I wanted to ask him where so-and-so was. But to me, it was so good as a mama to think, you think my child looks so normal that you think he works here? Great stuff. Because that's like mission achieved. Because I don't want him to stand out as freakish because he's different. Because that's what you aim for, socially appropriate. Because every mother wants her child to fit in. I'm not saying fit in, but I mean, you don't want them to be shunned. You don't want them to be pointed at. All those things, I mean, you guys know. I don't have to.
Carol said most of our school staff no longer live in the same neighborhood. I think that will help our village thrive and thrive when they can at least live where they know your parents one-on-one. I think a personal relationship with parents will be great. You would, Yarn Arm said, you would make a great support counselor for parents and kids, Ursula, on the spectrum.
I was for 14 years. I worked with parents that many times they were I was their first contact, or I was the first person that they spoke to after the child was diagnosed, and they would be so traumatized. They would speak to me on a day that was like their worst day, and I would spend an hour on the phone with this mama, give advice, give encouragement, give up, and they would say, I feel so encouraged because I feel there's light at the end of the tunnel. I feel that I now know what to do. Because the worst thing for a parent when their child is diagnosed is, what now? First of all, you want to, it's very terrible because you want to write off all the dreams you had for a life partner for that child. You'd write off any grandkids you would have had. You write off any wedding you would have had. There's a lot of things. It's like a grieving process you go through. And you really have to get in there and I said to the people that helped my child, tell me how to fix him, and then I'm going to say, shake your hand and say, thank you, goodbye, hope to never see you again. I was just being honest as a parent because I'm like, I don't want to be special. Thank you. I want to be just average. And that's what I say. If you've dealt with special needs children, normal is so underrated. I mean, if you know how many parents would just look at normal and say, if my child could just be average or normal, I would be like, Which two front teeth do you want? I'll give them to you. You want my left arm? Otherwise, I can't close it. If they have my left arm, I'll give that. Just to be average. I don't know. My child, that doesn't need to be a wonderful job. Maybe you can just be a driver or a delivery person and don't shoot me for saying that, because I mean some people are that. But I mean, let's take some low jobs and say, if my child could just do that, if he could just be a waiter somewhere, I'd be like, oh, you've done it. Oh,
yeah,
you know,
that's your truth.
It's underrated.
Yeah, I think that's your truth, and I think a lot of people are embarrassed to speak their truth, especially from their child. They think they're a bad parent. But we human beings, and you do get tired, you get exhausted, you're not beyond your emotions and feelings. But Renee said, yep, Ursula, this 3-year-old is so different. Haha. I do so much the routine that he asks why. It never ends. I am the same, Ursula. I still do diapers for mines 11 and 5. They don't speak. So they're not.
Okay.
No, I've enjoyed it so much. I'm going to still be in chat, but I got to go down.
All right. Off. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Can I just say I just want to say to Angel Renee, do not be discouraged, because I can tell you what, my son, it took me from the age of 11 to the age of 15 to teach him to wipe his butt. And every time he made a poo-poo, I had to hand over hand. You roll the paper, wipe. Oh, look, it's not clean. Throw the paper in the toilet, roll. 4 years. After 1 year, someone would have said, no one would have blamed me if I gave up, because I tried it 1 year, for a whole year, daily, right? Maybe 2 years. After 2 years, if I gave up, no one would have blamed me. 3 years. I didn't give up. After 4 years, he got there. You know, I felt like I wanted to put it on Facebook. My child can wipe his own butt at 14. But how stupid would I feel? Because most kids can do it at 4. But what people don't understand is, I don't have to do it when he's 21, 31, 41, 51.
Yeah.
That's a big butt. Thank you. No, I don't want to do that. So I'm not giving up. You know what, Angel Renee? Giving up, I told the parents. Giving up? You want to give up? No. You know what? Giving up equals signing up. Giving up on potty training equals signing up, wiping that big butt. Okay? You want to sign up for that? Oh, you don't? Oh, then go back to not giving up. Okay. Yeah. You give up equals to sign up. So.
Yeah. Lori said the kids know not to start something in my presence. I clear the area of the other kids and let the fighters go at it. I don't jump in, and I don't get in a den. I believe in natural consequences. And you're absolutely right, Lori, because Lori, I've heard on the news recently where a teacher is fighting and the other teacher comes in to intervene, and both of them get jumped on and head banged in and a lot of stuff. Sometimes you just got to let them fight it out, being children. Melanie said, my daughter is starting to teach and has already been bitten, hit, and had a notebook hit her in the head by 3rd graders. She wasn't warned about it. The school knew, but doesn't discipline well enough. Already her daughter is experiencing this. But here's the thing, Ursula. Her daughter is experiencing this, and this with normal people. Okay. These are not children that has some type of issue. These are normal behavior. So it's just, but Andrew Renee said, and Ursula, yes, we grieve, but then move on. I always say, if he could just make a friend and accept, I don't care if he is a genius. Yes, Ursula, same. You could just relate. But you know what happened is, you do need that community. You need to have a community where somebody can relate to your story. A lot of times people kind of shy away because they don't have a community. They don't have a community. That you need one.
Angel Renee, you know what I also did was, I realized early on that this journey is going to be long. No one told us, But I realized that this journey is I think this journey is going to take longer than I thought. And I realized that I could not wait until the child is functional, whatever, until we've reached the end to start relaxing and enjoying. So I realized I have to put a lot of fun into our lives so that we have, when my children reach 16 or whatever age, that we could look back and they must be fun as well. We can't just see, because my child was 3 and 8 months when he started intervention, and that is from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So he had a full day from that age until 14. So for 10 years, he had that intervention. That's a long time, long days. So I, as a parent, made a point of it to put on a Saturday and a Sunday their most liked activities. So that was my role as a parent. Okay, they did the academic thing. I'm going to be doing the mommy thing. So, yeah, and absolutely, you must. The one thing I would also say is what I did do is every second week I would get a tutor, one of these people that worked at the center. They sometimes want to do something for extra money, and especially if they know your child, then they would come and look after your child for like 3 hours. Okay, yes, you have to pay them. Of course you have to pay them. And then I could just step out. I know they are with someone that they know. They are at home. There are movies. There are everything. Because I must tell you, it is also hard on marriages. You can't always rely on your spouse to be looking after them. So I just decided I must make me happy. What will make me happy? 3 hours break from my kids. Okay, I arranged the babysitter. I arrange everything. Then I go out with my friend. I step away for 3 hours. I come back. I can be a better mom, better wife, better. So self-care is critical to be the best you. You're the glue of the family. If the glue is no longer sticky, everything falls apart. So self-care is not optional. It is essential. So just.
Renee said, yes, Ursula, you reached me this morning. We don't give up. Never for them, for the day we are not around. As independent as possible. Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm just going to live forever, Renee. Angel Renee, I made up my mind. I'm just going to live forever because this child is not going into any home. Sorry. He's staying in this house. That's it.
But you know what? I like what you just said, Ursula, about self-care. Your well-being is critical to everyone. And not just
your emotional well-being.
Your emotional well-being is critical to everyone because it's true. So she said, yes, let's see. Lori said, this is terrible to say, but many students are literally like feral animals.
Wild animals. Feral animals.
Yeah, kids need boundaries and expectation to thrive. They don't get it at home or at school. So it's definitely, hey, Tina Bailey, how are you? Absolutely. I totally agree. And so that's why I always tell my son about his responsibility as a student, as a child, as a son, my daughter, as a daughter. We all have a role to play here. Okay. I can't take on your role because it's going to get me out of character. So I need to make sure that my mental, my physical, my emotional, my spiritual, everything is intact so I can continue to perform in the way that I need to perform. Because when you get me out of character, now I have to become someone else, and you may not like that new person. You might not like that new person. So let's everybody do our job, but we're not living in a society where that's even is happening. I mean, we're just not living in that type of world like this anymore. The things that I'm seeing on social media that our children is learning, even in the kindergarten and first grade, learning about their body parts, learning about their sexuality, learning about all these different things. Shouldn't they be learning how to color right now? Shouldn't they be learning how to write their name?
The curriculum has changed. That is one of the main causes of homeschooling here in where I stay, because of the changes in the curriculum. So, and you said something, and I wanted to say something about that. Okay, that's gone out of my mind. But yeah,
it's the behavior that the curriculum that I'm seeing what the teachers are sharing is.
Tina, did you mean to time out Angel Renee? Did you mean to time out her?
If you time somebody, I don't see.
Yeah, it says, because Angel Renee typed, yes, me and my husband say that we got to live forever, not out of vanity, but out of necessity. Jeanette, yes, these typical kids need responsibility. I knew my place in my family, when to help. Yeah, maybe it's a mistake. Crafts by D Rose. Angel Renee is good. She's not bad.
Hey, Jennifer for DOYcreations. She said, hello, Jeanette, Ursula, and Elaine. How are you today? And so when I was hearing about, certain things we didn't get to know about, especially with, sexuality, until we was like in high school. And it's like, why do a first grader?
And that was one lesson, and we were separated, girls, boys, and that and the subject wasn't touched again.
Do you hear
about that? Was middle school.
Middle school for you? Like what grade?
I was 7th grade. I was in 7th grade.
I think that's a good age, that teen year when you're 13, or 14. But I'm talking about first graders and kindergartners are learning about gender, sexuality.
You know how it came about? You know how I can only tell you about the Cape Province in South Africa, how it came about, why it came about. The children were more exposed to not really sexual education, but your body and whatever, is because of the amount of, or there was just a lot more, even in the news, about molestation, about that kind of thing. So what happened was there was a need to make children aware of when something was wrong and when it was right. So I think that's how it sort of got a foothold in, but it's mushroomed into, I don't know, out of there.
Can I share something?
I told my daughter, I remember telling my daughter, I'm your mother, and it's a job. I don't have to be your friend. I can be friendly. You can be friendly to me. You don't have to like me. If you do like me, great, it's a bonus. But my job is to protect you, to teach you, to guide you, to da-da-da. So there will be things that you will be telling your friends that you won't be telling me. There will be things that you'll be telling me that you won't be telling your friends. Yeah. No. I think Miss Craft by the Rose, Miss Tina, I think it was I absolutely say it's a little just a mistake. And we know sometimes it happens to Granny D too. She usually takes the prize for that, but no worries. Hello, my sweetheart.
Well, I understand about teaching the kids because to be awareness of maybe being molested and things like that. But in the schools,
that's how it started. I'm just saying how it started.
No, I know. But when I was in school, they didn't teach me that. They taught me reproduction. Okay, how the woman's body works, how the a man's body work. How does how do babies come into the world? Okay. Yeah. That's what we were taught. Now, my grandson was maybe 4 years ago, and he's in 6th grade now. He came to us one day, really confused and upset. And I saw it in his face, and I'm like, what happened? And he told me that the teacher has said to him, to the class, not just him, that if they were not happy with their gender, they could change it. And that the boys could be girls now and the girls could be boys now. And my grandson was only 4 years back. How old is that? 8 years old. So he's like, wow, what's going on? What is she talking about? And he came home and he told us, he was very upset. He was angry, upset. He didn't want to be a girl. He wanted to be a boy. Okay. But he didn't understand that what was going on with that situation, you know, what she was telling him. At this time, they have not started teaching the kids this stuff. Okay. That's just recently.
Yeah.
So I understand when the school wants to teach reproduction, because a lot of children, by the time they're 12, you know, by, you know, studies, they're already unfortunately sexually active, 12, 13, 14, and some kids. Okay. So I understand that part, to teach them, hey, this is how things happen. But I disagree with everything else they're teaching, because and that's my opinion. I believe that the parents should teach them that, because now we have a confused kid that came home because this teacher decided to share her views on that, which the school didn't pay her to say those things yet. So she decided
so it wasn't in the curriculum, and she just said that. Yeah, definitely. With us, that's a big reason why there is homeschooling in this area, state that I stay in. Homeschooling is at its peak.
Yes,
you would
because
actually
of what's
have
going
a
on in
very
the
large
schools.
school if you put them together. And they have a lot of sport they do in clubs. You know, like at school you have sport, but if you're not in a school, if you're homeschooled, then you would belong to a soccer club, a rugby club, a cricket club, a tennis club, and the homeschooling bodies would see to it that you get exposure to everything that you would have done in a normal school. So, but you get to decide the curriculum, and it's not about it's about real subjects that you're going to use in life out there.
Life skills too, you know, out there in the real world. Yes. But I'm all for education. Yes, whatever. I'm all for education and everything, but my daughter, because there was almost an active shooting going on or whatever in her school, whatever it was, and they told me as a parent, they failed us to notify us, they failed us to shut down the school, they told us that we in other words, it's none of our business. Okay.
Oh wow.
Because the kid was a minor. And then I have a kid coming home with all these other problems with anxiety and all this other stuff before, because of being bullied a couple of times. And then now all this lockdown, and then and then now these kids, everything that's going on, it was changing her. And then I said, well, you know what? I don't want nobody patting me in the back saying, I'm sorry for your loss, and not helping our children and doing all they can to get this fixed. So not only that, it was mostly her mental being, and also everything she was picking up in school. And so I was like, you're not going to help me? Board education is not going to help me? I even called the police department. Nobody's going to help me. Nobody's going to give me answers. Pulled her out. She's homeschooled.
Well, you know, I think a lot of people have taken that same thing. They just pulling children out. You know, whatever your beliefs are, whatever your religion, beliefs, whatever they are, they're not to be pushed on someone else.
Others.
You cannot push whatever your agenda off on someone else's child. Only thing school should be for is just to learn your ABCs, how to add, social studies, English, math, you know, the basic things like that.
The basic.
Everything else for the parents. Now you telling the parents, y'all want us to be parents and you want us to be teachers, right? So now we want to take it back and say, we'll be the parent and you be the teacher. Stop reversing the roles now and taking the responsibilities of parents to teach their son, daughter about, you know, sexuality, all this stuff. That's a parent job. That's not a teacher job. So why are you making that part of your curriculum to be taking these things? And then when the parent get upset, now you upset with the parent. So that's why I said the level of communication and the level of disrespect is thrown out of the window. It's like nobody really has reading, writing, arithmetic, you know, all those things like that. It's like, what happened to that? Why should you as a teacher tell my child that if he wants to switch over, he can make that switch. First of all,
I'll never forget that day.
You are 100% out of order. You 100% out of order. You have no business. That's like telling my child, well, if you want to smoke a cigarette, go ahead and smoke it. Or if you want to take this drink, go ahead and drink it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because since I'm giving you the authority of something so dramatic as that, why don't you just go ahead and tell me, can I go ahead and bring this, this marijuana or this, this alcohol in the school? So if that's non-tolerable, then this too, it should be not your concern. Just teach them the basic things they need to do to thrive and survive in the world.
It's right what you're saying, Jeanette, because we want to teach our children our values, our culture, our whatever. So certain things the schools should just leave alone.
Yeah, and another thing, he was innocent to that. His mother will talk to him in a proper time, in a proper age, what's going on in the world. Here you're telling an 8-year-old that you could do this and that, and he's like confused, like, what are you talking about? He doesn't know at that age that people
He's
are
not even asking.
He doesn't know anything about the LQG. Yeah, he doesn't know anything about the LQG, to be whatever, those people, transgender and stuff like that. He doesn't know. He didn't know at the time. And then unfortunately, we had to explain it to him because he was confused and he was like, no. So yeah, so then they're messing around with their innocence. You know what I mean? They don't need to know a lot of stuff that's going on in the world at that age.
I remember we were taught that a child that is under 10. Yeah. Sorry, Jeanette. Go ahead.
1 second. Fan YT said, hey, my son is addicted to Chinchilla Central. New drugs being used by kids in school. What should I tell? These new drugs that children are being exposed to, a lot of parents is not even aware of them.
Yes.
They're not even aware of these things.
If they look in their rooms and look under the bed and stop giving them so much privacy, they will know.
And I see why a lot of parents, and they doing this actually on social media, taking the doors down to their children's rooms so that they can actually see what is going on in their room.
Well, we don't take the door down, but my grandson, he sometimes wants to close his door. He's 12. My daughter says, no, that door's staying open. Because he's on video games and he's talking to friends on a headphone. She needs to be listening to what's going on, even with your friends, their own friends, what they're talking about, and what he's getting into in social media and what he's watching on YouTube and all that stuff. So she wants that door open.
Absolutely.
But you don't have that privilege. She pays rent here.
The games that children are playing is so brutal. It's so, it's so like some of these games that I see my son playing, I'm like, what is that? What are they doing? It's explicit as well. Games is not as innocent as
it used to be.
Those animation is not even that innocent anymore. So, my daughter studied animation for a year after school, and then obviously we had to stop the studies because of financial lack. But she said to me, Mama, the stuff that they want me to draw, I'm not doing that. That is against my values. So I can't be doing that.
And the thing about the lady the lady in the chat room, I was talking about the kids into new drugs. You have to be very careful because a lot of stuff's going on where they're putting sneaking stronger drugs in the drugs and it's killing people instantly. Another thing is, don't stop. I don't care what age they are, 16, 17, 18. My daughter's about to be 18. I need to know when she says to me, this is my friend, or I'm going over my friend's house, or we're going to go, outside, go ahead. Can you take us to the mall? I need to know who she's hanging out because bad company corrupts good morals. Okay. And so you need to pay attention who your kids are hanging out with and what they're doing. Because, when I grew up, when I grew up, they just let us go out and play out and it was great. We were outdoors all the time playing with kids. But when I grew up and when I was in high school, the parents oh, you're going to go out and hang out with your friends. Y'all going to the park. And they never knew what they were doing at the park. They could be there for hours and hours and hours. And they could be there doing drugs. They could be most of the time drinking and stuff like that. And then they come in to know later on. I don't know. I think that as a parent, I need to know what my kids are.
You need to know. Elaine, it's like you say, you don't want to be patted on the back and say, so sorry for your loss. You don't want to hear that. You want to be proactive. That's what you want to do.
I don't want you doing a memorial with my child's name, do this whole big thing for the news and for America, for whatever. No, I want you to do something what's going on in the school system. What's going on. Yeah. We have, I was saying yesterday, we have the most powerful army in the world, and we can't even, and to fight other countries to defend this country, but we can't do nothing for our school system. Defend our children, who are the future of America, the future of this world.
Angie, say at that age, it's hard to tell children about death. How dare that teacher tell your grandson what's right boundaries being crossed? The boundary that was Donna. All right, Donna. Donna says she's headed back out there.
Go, Donna.
Doing her Donna. She had to take a break. Rita said, Ursula, I started your spring granny square tank. Excellent tutorial. I'm almost done with the front. I got to get started as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. I have to go check it out.
How are you? And
hi, Manda.
Rita said, I was so lucky to work at the school where my son was in elementary school. Well, we all just know that it's not that schooling wasn't bad in our days. They were. We had the bad kids. It's just, it's nothing new under the sun. It's just that they are being so exposed to so much more. They are just being exposed to so much more. That if we don't get a handle on it, saying that they are our future, they need to be here to be the future. They need to be around to be the future of us, to carry our names on and so forth and so on. So it takes a village to raise children. We all play a role in there. Me being a grandmother, I don't just stop at my son. Yep. I'm on my grandchildren as well. What is going on with them? How are they doing? Let me know. Tell my daughter, keep me abreast of what's going on, because I like to be involved. When you only concerned about your child and your child only, I was concerned about the child that was across the street from me, the child that was down the street from me. We can't be single-minded. It's all about just my child, as though the other children don't need that attention as well. So it just takes a lot. Is that Ashley, the beautiful Ashley?
Yes, Ashley is in the house. Hello, sweetheart.
Ashley. Long time no see, and how are you? One of my dessert squad. Hello, ladies. You say hello, ladies. I pray that you stay blessed. Listen, prayer is prayer is so needed for anybody and everybody. It's no
it is.
It's no time.
Yeah, let's start praying before things go wrong. Let's not wait for things to go wrong and then start praying.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Social media has pros, but it has cons as well. And because children have access to all this social media, I'm telling you, my daughter did not get a cell phone until she was graduating out of high school. My son has a cell phone in grammar school. That's by his father permission. Because I think I saw this little girl one time walking home, and you know what she was doing? She had to have been in the 5th or 6th grade. She's walking down the street giving herself selfies. She wasn't even watching where she was going. All she did was making all these different expressions, giving herself selfies. And I said, when the teachers tell these children, put away your phone or I'm going to take it, you know what happens? They get violent. When these teachers say, hey, put that phone away, put your phone on silence or vibrator, or I'm going to take it. Now the parents upset. Now the children upset. Now everybody upset. But the school is not here to monitor your child's cell phone. Cell phones was given for emergency purposes only in case of an emergency. But now these cell phones is let's do a Snapchat. Let's start our own YouTube channel. It's just too much. I'm at the age where it's just too much.
Yeah, my grandson's school, they have to keep it in their backpack. And if the teacher sees it on them, if the teacher sees it on them or on the table, she takes it for that whole month.
Yes.
Yes, Ashley, we are so glad you are here as well.
Absolutely.
But, some parents, they just everything that's going on in schools nowadays, they do need some type of communication in case of an emergency. Anything can pop off.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's not for you to be on Snapchat while you're in your classroom. It's not for you to be, playing
or cheating in your classwork.
Just do what you're supposed to do. Ooh, child.
Yeah.
They couldn't make me be a teacher nowadays. There's no amount
I always
of money
said that.
They can say, but you know what I would love to do? And I thought about this, and I see some postings around my job, my house. They want more teacher aides, teacher assistants. I think I would like to assist the teacher so they don't have to feel like they're alone. You know what I'm saying? And me and that teacher would have to have a communication and say, hey, if anything go down, you got my back and I got your back. And I don't think you should be going to work worrying about somebody having your back or the lack thereof. However, I need to know that you got my back and I got your back just in case. Because where there's numbers, that you in a better situation. It's you
safety in numbers.
Yeah, it's you against them. But if they know that, well, I can't do this to this teacher by herself and someone else is in this room, then maybe they won't be so quickly to approach a teacher in that way. And another thing, why I'm on the topic of teachers, they need more mean teachers around here. It's just not enough mean teachers. I don't know why is that. I know, but the ratio with teachers are like 5-1, more females than males with teaching, because you ain't finna come to men so easily like that. You're not going to approach them. These kids will run the teachers out of the room. My daughter works in the office and a student slapped her. What? Monda said,
yes,
my daughter works in the office and a student slapped her. Her hand would have been broken.
I'm sorry. I would go to jail. I could not be a teacher.
Her hand would have been broken. She would have got her hand broken. Ashley said, when I was in high school, we were not allowed to pagers or cell phones in class without a note from a doctor or a very good reason from the parent, because it was just no need to have those devices out in classroom. And if a child has enough audacity to raise their hand up at me, then I have the right to protect myself. I have the right to protect myself. If you want to play the adult role and slapping me, and that's from a 14-year-old, let me show you how this hand feels from an adult. You know what I mean? Because now I'm giving you the permission to go slap someone else. I'm actually giving you the permission. I had an example happen here. I had one of one of these neighbors, their son knocked on my door, but they knocked on my door so aggressively, I thought it was the police. I thought somebody was breaking in. He ran. I jumped in my car and I hunt this little child down. I hunted him down. I said, don't you ever in your life knock on my door like that ever again, or you're going to be in trouble. And I said, your parents in the house, because I have cameras around my home. Okay. We just live in a society where you got to have cameras even around your house.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I say, I see you on camera knocking on my door and running off. Don't ever do that again. See, sometimes we want to defend it. And I got in my car and I looked for him. I said, because if I don't approach you, you're going to knock on someone else's door who's not going to be as kind as I am, who's not going to be as gentle.
You're going to knock on the wrong person's door one day, and
knock on the wrong
you might
door.
not even live to regret it. Oh wow. Yeah.
How old was that kid, you think?
He was in the 6th grade. He was in the 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
He's a friend. He's a friend of my son. And I told my son, I said, I don't want you hanging around with anybody that does that, because if you can get in trouble from association, you know, it's
You're
not
right.
you doing it, but he's doing it, and you're with him. They're gonna say you all are doing it. So I don't want to get you in trouble on association. So you can be with him. And you know what this little boy told me when I caught him? He told me he didn't do it. And I told him, I have you on camera. You know what he said? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am. I won't do that again. I say, how are you going to be polite and bad? You know? He was so respectful. He said, yes, ma'am. I apologize, ma'am. I won't do that again. I said, wow, I'm glad I was the one that caught you, because, you know, it could have went wrong so easily. So sometimes you need to hear the whole story.
I think it shows that he has what it takes inside of him. Okay, so the bad side was showing, and someone needed to remind him that, look, you are better than this. Your parents probably taught you better than this, but now someone might have told you that this is a fun thing to do. You've tried it, because I think, look, if I look back as a child, I've done stupid things. I think, where was my brain? What was I thinking? Why was I even doing that? I could have gotten in so much trouble. But so that's why it's double good that he ran into you, Jeanette, because that you had a moment to talk to him, because children need that. They need that one person that cares enough to say something.
I agree. They definitely need to care enough. But Ashley from Sunflower Seeds, she said, sunflower seeds. Is that what I want to eat? Some sunflower seeds? She said, I saw a viral challenge that was called Call Your Teacher by their first name. What disrespect is being
viral
encouraged?
Challenge. What disrespect is
I heard another challenge. I heard another challenge. It's called throw a bucket on somebody's head, and somebody's head neck got broke or something like that. What happened is, y'all remember the water bucket challenge when people was throwing water on people with the bucket? Well, now they're using a larger bucket, and they come behind you and they throw this bucket on you, but it says bucket challenge gone wrong. And that person was in the hospital, neck just injured, because somebody, whatever garbage in the bucket, whatever you put in the bucket, but be careful. Be careful with that.
Yeah,
and
I teach my grandson, don't believe everything, don't do everything you see on internet. There was also a viral challenge where you take a rope and you pull it, you're actually hanging yourself, but you're not supposed to do it so far. And then that was a challenge to see if you could do that and come out of it alive. And some teenage girl did it. I think she was 15. She did it, and her family found her dead in the house. And then they would look through her social media and found out what happened. How did she get this idea?
Wow, so sad. That is really sad.
Monda said, when kids know you don't play, they will respect you. You have to demand it. These kids are way different from the children we were. They are way different. My teacher would have sent me to the moon. Hey, Adia, how are you today? Yarn R. She said, hey, Jeanette. Hey, Chad. Sorry I'm late. That's okay. Anytime is a good time to come in and say hello. I appreciate it so much. You say we have school here called Education Together, and students have to call teachers by their first name. Oh, wow. Some places are disrespectful, but not everywhere. Lori said the stupid stuff we did as kids wasn't as dangerous, deadly as it is now.
Yes.
They lace joint that shoots first, ask question later attitude. Yeah, I know. It's a sad situation. Not kids are not different. We just have to change the way we treat them. With society, social media being so big, a lot of our children are learning their behavior through social media. They're not even learning it at home. They're learning it from what they see what they call influencers do. That's it. That's what they're learning their behavior from. It's sad.
Can you highlight Adia's comment again? Because my power went out and my laptop has shut down. So I'm only on my phone. Kids are not different. We just have to change. Man, she said that, and I'm like, it's on the tip of my tongue. I wanted to respond to that and say that, that's what I wanted to say. I have found I told you that when I was working for 14 years as a counselor to parents, that what I saw a change in was parents that were more or less my age. Their parenting style was as if they were afraid of the children. They were not. I teach my children old school. So I believe in, I called it to my children. I didn't even call, if you say pits, it means a light. I mean, you don't say spank or whatever. But even then, when my children were small and I said, Mama pits, which means Mama will pits, they had respect for that. So between like 2 and 3, I started till definitely with my daughter. By the time she went to school, there was no more. I didn't have to give a smack. And I say, you give a smack on the bum, because that's not. Well, I smacked my son once through the face. Now my son is autistic, but I didn't even. This was not even. How can I say? Planned. It was. I was on my knees, as low as I can be on my knees, and he was my height. So what was he? 3, and he full on smacked me through my face. I didn't think. I smacked him right back. He never lifted his hand to me again. You know what he would do after that? When he would get cross with me, is he would bring his hand to my face, like up to here, and he would go like this. And he couldn't speak, but the message was, I'm cross with your mommy. I wish I could hit you now. If I could, I would. But I know what's going to happen if I hit you. It's going to come right back. You smack me, I'm going to smack you. And he never did again, right? So, but I believed, okay, that was my parenting style. There was that window between 2 and 6, they go to school. Between 2 and 6, well, let me say for my daughter, that was the parenting style. Because after that, I talk, and then by now I know, okay, I know what your soft spot is. Your soft spot is the money. I withhold your money. And my son is Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi, woo, he would die without Wi-Fi. So I just say, you do this, or mama straf. Straf means punishment. So you do this. So it looks to him like he's got a choice. It's actually no choice. You're going to do what I tell you. So, and then he would just, he wants this. He doesn't want no Wi-Fi. So you see, children are different. But my son, anyway, in the beginning, from between 3, 4, 5, he couldn't feel punishment. So it didn't help to smack him because he was sensory not there. We had to do occupational therapy for him to start feeling pain. How terrible does this sound? But by the time he could feel, I said to that occupational therapist, thank you. Now he speaks the universal language of pain. And mama can take over and say, we're going to spank this bottom if you don't listen. Because he's smart. He can't talk the way anybody else can talk, but he's smart. He knows. So
well, if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And I see
but
that.
But what I wanted to say was that the parents, it amazed me that the parents were like afraid of the kids.
Yes.
And I'm
terrible.
like, how is this going to turn out if you're afraid to confront your child? But they were raised old school like me. So I was amazed at the strength that I saw over those 14 years. And now, this is now how long ago. So those children are now my child's age. So what are we sitting with? So it's not always the children. Sometimes the parents I don't know, there's phases that you go. I mean, I remember when there's this guy, what was he, American? That started this, because our parents were raised very strict. And then in the 50s, late 50s, this guy wrote this book. Now I forgot, but his book actually brought about the baby boom age, that era. Mm-hmm. Because then parents went from being very strict to being totally opposite. Because they were, now I forget his name, man. And then obviously after that, the balance came in back again, that you had to be balanced. You can't be from incredibly strict, which was a border on being cruel, to being totally lax, which is where the hippie started.
It definitely has to be some balance. But it is said, I taught high school in South Bronx. As tough and disrespectful as the kids could be, they liked it the same thing we did. Consistency, love, understanding, and patience. So
I was just going to say about consistency. That's what the problem with some parents. They punish the child and say, I'm going to take away the phone or the game or whatever. You're not going to have it for a week or whatever. And then you see him and the next day he starts crying and whining, whatever. And the next day or two, he already has the phone back.
They threaten, but they don't push through.
Is some parents are afraid to even take things away from their children. They have to sleep with one eye open. Because the children would not, they would be so angry that you like, I don't think I can sleep good without. And you set yourself up for those type of behaviors. But Monda said the children are different because my parents raised me way different than these kids today. And I raised my children different than my parents, but they were not disrespectful. So I don't agree. So a lot of times, you said biblically, the rod was not to beat the sheep, it was to guide them. Absolutely. Yes. I love that. Good one. Here's the thing. A lot of parentings, and everybody has their own view on these topics, but a lot of people really didn't like how their parents raised them. They didn't like the whoopings and they didn't like the punishment, and they didn't like those type of things that happen. So when they decide to have children, they said, I'm gonna go around that. Okay, I don't think you have to beat a child. I don't think you have to be so cruel to the child to get them to listen to you and be obedient to you. If that method works for you, because my mom,
and you don't have to be, but you have to have some kind of consequence for wrong behavior. Like I say, I once came home and you go through the security gate and then you open the door, and I saw my daughter running by like Flash Gordon. And it was because I had said that she had the habit of sitting at the dining room table doing her homework, and she would take off her school clothing there and it'll be lying in pieces, dirty school socks, whatever. So I said, okay, we're going to do this. That you know what to do. I have laid out exactly the procedure routine when you get home. Now you're not implementing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fine you. Every sock that I find, it's 20 ZAR. So she knew when I opened that front door, there was dirty socks lying under that dining room table. So I didn't know this. I saw her come by like Flash Gordon, diving for under that table to get to those socks before I saw them. So she didn't have to get fined because she does not like to pay me the money. She wants her money.
And I need to say that it depends on the child because I have two.
Exactly.
And so one needed to be disciplined and the other, one time I spanked her, and that was the only time in her entire life because after that spanking, the first time I spanked her, she was like, oops, I'm not going to mess with mommy. That was something new to her. The only time I did it is if they didn't listen. If you have to talk again and say the things over and over, give you another chance, do this, do that. And then they just act, they just continue being whatever, disrespectful for whatever. And then because I was raised that, yes, my mother did spank us and stuff like that. And yes, I do believe that it shouldn't be abusive. Okay, to an extent that you're bruising or overdoing it or spanking them for every little thing or things like that. But the timeout thing, that doesn't work for me. That's timeout thing is, I don't know who invented it, but it doesn't work. Okay, so y'all keep that timeout thing for y'all. That, that's not happening in this house, because they know when that one. Okay, I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2, and by the time you're in 2, the kid's behaving. Okay, so the kids know what they're doing. They're pushing your buttons. They're testing you. That ain't gonna happen here. Okay, so yes, it depends on the child. Not all the kids misbehave. Not all the kids are disrespectful. It all depends. But yes, I don't believe in overdoing it and things like that. But I have to tell you that I only had to do that once in her entire life, and now I give them the look. Whatever, they already know my look. You really want to go there?
I only did it once for my daughter too. After that, I didn't raise her with a smack or whatever. I only had to give the look. That was it. There was nothing else needed. And if you have a loving relationship with your child, you give a lot of time. The child gets to know you, and they respect you, and they want that love. So they don't want to disappoint you. They want you to be happy. So if you, I think that cuts way down on the discipline if there's a good relationship.
Yeah. Monda say these newfound parents, I call them, don't believe in whipping their children. If they don't like discipline, I tell them to keep them away from me. When you tell me I'm not for all that discipline, then I'm not the parent that you need to be around. Okay, and you said Spare the Rod by Dr. Stacy Patton. Development, once you learn how kids learn, it will change how you punish. Beatings are violent.
Well, like I said, it depends. I don't believe I'm beating on kids, but I believe on disciplining them.
Yeah. I don't believe in a lot of hitting, especially the older they get, because those same kids getting hit grows up with attitude, rudeness, entitlement. And if I slap some lady face for being rude, jail time. And then Monda said that timeout mess is nothing but foolishness.
You got to be careful with some of these people that write books for parents, because some of them are not parents. And some of them are not going through what you're going through, and they don't live in your household. Okay, that's all good for you. You know what works with your children, and you know what works in your household. And
can I tell you, my daughter came home one day and she said to me, "Mommy, explain to me, what is this? They call this timeout, and I've been looking at this. This child does something wrong. The teacher says, go sit on the chair in the corner, face the corner." She looks at that and she says, "I don't see the point. I don't see where the punishment is." She literally could not understand how that is punishment. So obviously, it didn't happen to her, because my child was like this in her entire school year, career. That you would, if something went wrong, you would get a letter of, what did they call it? A letter of reprimand or something. You know that she was deathly afraid of ever get. It's like she looked on that like a black spot on her record. So she was so deathly afraid of ever getting that black spot on her record that she never got that. But she came to me and I had to laugh out loud when this child said, "What is with this?" I had to explain to her what timeout is and actually what it means to other children and why it's working for them. But I know it won't work for you, but it will work for other kids. That was hilarious. What is this thing? She was like, "What is this? Sit on the chair, look in the corner." I would be like, "Oh, that's fantastic time to create. Oh, I'm going to do this at home and da-da-da." I wasn't laughing.
Timeout is like a recess. Lori said, in our auditorium, there is a quote from one of the founding teachers: "A disciplined mind and a cultivated heart are key elements of power. It is the cornerstone of my expectation and motivation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. Renee said also, if you still slapping your kids at 12, maybe it was the parents that didn't do something right.
Yes.
Around 10 is a loving home, a child with no disability. They should be at least understanding, right?
Yes, that's why I said, between after 2 and before 6 was my experience as a parent. Disclaimer here, we don't know anything, for those of us who want to say we're not whatever. But as a parent, my thing was between just over 2 and when they go to school at 6. That's where if I needed to, I would smack and not even like a major. It would just be like that. Hey, I'm talking to you. You listen, and not in the face anywhere. On the butt, man. It was meant for that. That's where he got it. Not any, because I feel it's also, just to me it was, if I just slap them like in the face, to me it would be disrespectful. Except for that in one incident I just told you guys earlier about, where my little boy made that mistake, well, he was corrected. I didn't even have to think about my reaction, and there it was. So, but after, I wouldn't, for instance, think about hitting my daughter in the face. But my friend raised 4 daughters, and she says she did it like once to a teenage daughter who really gave her a hard time. But it was also one slap and it was done. And it never had to happen. And that friend actually gave me a lot of advice about raising my daughter. I only had 1 daughter. She had 4 daughters. Oh my goodness, it was hard work. So, but different for all children. That's why I say,
now all the kids are the same.
Taking the time for a good relationship, it cuts way down on the discipline, because the child wants that. They want your love. If they get enough of that, they're not going to be out there doing all kinds of.
Yes, because see, my daughter was 7 years old when I and all I did was spank her a couple of times on the tushy, but it was shocking to her. She was like, "What?" And I couldn't get through to her. I did everything. I couldn't get through to her.
Yeah.
But and that was her lesson for her entire life. I never had to do. I sat down, I talked to her why I did it and everything else, and never I had to spank her again. Ever.
That's, to be honest with you.
And she's very respectful.
That's some people experience. All they need is that one spanking and the child gets it together. Some children, let's be honest, some children is repeat offenders. They constantly want to test you and constantly.
My brother was a repeat offender.
They are repeat offenders. And they constantly testing you, and you like, I really thought that last punishment was kind of, hard. And you think that I can't make it harder, but you say, I'm not a parent. That's dismissal. I saw parents who did not know their kids or how to even talk to their kids. Yeah. Some parenting need counseling as well.
Yes.
And, Renee said, I can only hope, because this 3-year-old got me crazy. Spanking, no spanking. I really think it may so not having typical role models. Poor baby thinks running back and forth is a game. Oh my goodness. Monda said, now I didn't have to whip my daughter much, but my son was a whole different ball game.
Exactly.
A whole different ball game. So all I'm trying to say is, I lost where I was at. It was a whole different.
He will come home a lot, tell me, Mama, thank you for whipping me because it made me a better person. But my brother was like that. He would constantly. He had asthma as a child, and I was raised by a single mom. She would come home, and he knew he had to be in the house by 4 p.m. Otherwise, the air is too cold. We'll probably spend the night at hospital because he's got asthma. No, does he listen? No, he just with his friends out there. Now, a single mom, she's already got enough to deal with. Now she comes home. Now this boy is out there. She knows tonight we're going to be in hospital. So she would say to him, obviously not the child with asthma that is now needing hospital, does she give a whipping to. But what happens is if he does that, she would say to him, if I get home and he's not home, now obviously I had to tell her, look, it was this time, he wasn't home yet. And she comes home, but she comes home at 5 p.m. He's not home. She would call him, and when she waits for him to come home. Wait, he's going to come home. She doesn't go looking for a child. You know where your house is, you're going to come home. When he comes in that door, she says, okay, now you're going to bend, you're going to get 3 of the best, or no TV. You choose. He always said 3 of the best. He would not go without television. So he had a choice. But repeat offender. I mean, you would think once, I look at that because I never liked it I never liked it that my mom was cross with me. So that was her way of, she just had to give me a look and talk to me, and it would be terrible for me. So
right.
if she wanted to spank me, I would go lie on the bed. You know how your legs go like this, like wheels? And I would scream. My mom says, how can I hit this child? It sounds like I'm slaughtering a little piglet. It's terrible. So because I was so afraid of her, of being, getting a whooping, never. So, but again, for me, I was not a repeat offender. If my mom said this isn't right, I was so afraid of her being cross with me. I didn't do that. So it was in a way easier. I was an easier child, not because I was just a girl, but hey, that boy, repeat offender. That's exactly the right word.
Yeah. My mom had 4 children, and by her disciplining us and not always spanking, we would go to my grandparents' house or aunt's house, and we would sit in the sofa, us 4, nice and quiet. And they would ask my mom, why are your kids so respectful? They wouldn't even, we had to raise our hand up to go use the bathroom, or unless our grandma would say, you could go over there to the other room or do whatever. We will not move from there, because if we move and we start acting up while their adults are having conversation, my mom would give us that look like, and we'd be like, oops,
The look. She would give you the look.
We'd be elbowing each other like, stop it, shh, be quiet.
I was in a restaurant, and a grandmother came up to me. And you know how they have in a kids' restaurant this children's play area? And so what they do is the children, and I did not approve of this, and I didn't raise my kids like this. So what they would do is you eat a bite, then you run, go play on the trampoline or whatever, come back, eat another bite. No. My children were taught how to sit at a table with a serviette, a knife, and a fork. You eat until you're done. When you are done, you may go play, but they usually opted not to. So this grandmother came to me, and she said she just wanted to note that my children are very well behaved. I just said thank you. I didn't say, oh, they're two special needs children. They've had a lot of coaching. They cost me a lot of money. I didn't say anything like that.
You didn't have to go into details.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Renee said, I can only hope, because this 3-year-old, okay, that's what her said. Let me make sure I get everybody. Better person. You talking to her.
But she's saying, Renee is saying spanking doesn't help. Renee? Yeah, spanking does. If the child doesn't feel pain, and it happens often with children that have classic autism, at the age of 3, they're diagnosed, they don't feel pain. Spanking does not help. What does help is if you give the occupational therapy, and you also do intervention that is positive. You speak always positive. For instance, you won't say, do not jump on the couch. You say, stop, which is a positive command. And you say climb, then you must immediately follow it up. And I'm talking to Angel Renee now, with a small child, 3 of autism. You say stop, you follow it up with an immediate positive command. You say, climb down, come and play with whatever the thing is that they also like, whether it's the iPad, whether it is blocks, whether it's Lego, whatever. So you have to not only say what not to do, and you don't say it in the negative, as I just said, you say it in the positive, stop, and then you follow up with what you do want them to do. And if they don't listen because they can't feel pain, you can't spank them, it doesn't help. You might injure the child if you're trying to spank them, right? Because they're never going to feel pain until they die. So what happens is you will then go and take the child, and we call it motoring them through the actions, which means you take the child off neatly, not, violently, off and say, come with, and you sit down and let them play with the blocks you play with. That's why it's so exhausting to raise a child with special needs, because a lot you have to model and motor them through and help them. And so that's why spanking probably, it didn't help for my child as well, and for many of the parents I counseled, because they don't feel pain.
Oh, wow. That's good to know. And Renee said yes, because it was just makes the parents feels like crap. I was not spanked growing up. Neither was my mom, but my husband was one. My husband was, and it was so deeply against it that it has caused problems. No hand slapping. If one person is raised actually getting whippings and things like that, and the other parent is not, that's a conversation that both parents need to have before they discipline the child, because you would never want your spouse to do anything that you wouldn't do. So that conversation needs to be talked about. Lori said, I struck my kids once when he almost ran into a busy street. He started crying about me hurting him. I said, oh yeah, cars hitting you is 100 times worse. He learned to respect the boundaries. Absolutely. You said, I taught my high school students first day, if I make you mad, report me. And I told them all the people to report me to, and who to report to the principal to. It changed the way they dealt with me. It's sad that we gotta have that type of relationship where I gotta tell a child to report me. You here to learn. I'm here to teach you, not for us to even have these type of problems. Hey, Jennifer Bentley, how are you today? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the thumbs up. Renee said, gotta go. Have a beautiful Sunday, everyone. Ursula, thanks for the small connection this morning. Much appreciated. Jackie said, I don't remember a lot of spanking, just a lot of grounding and soap in my mouth. We did that too. Clean that dirty mouth.
I did that once to my oldest when she said her first bad word.
There is a difference between discipline and punishment.
Didn't like it.
Discipline is proactive, predetermined, and usually linked to reward and consequence. Punishment is often reactive, disconnect. So as I think this was just like one of those conversations that all of us can really relate to, whether you have children or don't have children, because it does take a village to raise children. How you raise your children in your home is none of my business. It's absolutely unequivocally none of my business. As long as you are not abusing the children, as long as there's no abuse being done, it is none of my business how you disciplining your children. I think sometimes we want everyone to raise their children the way that we raising our children, but all children are different. All behavior is different. Some behavior you don't have to be so aggressive, and some behavior you do have to be a little bit more aggressive. So I think when we could just set boundaries and let people do their job without abusing the children, because I am totally 100% against child abuse. I'm not down for it. I don't like it. I don't think you got to knock your child upside their head. I don't think you got to hide them in a closet. I don't think all those extreme measures is necessary. I don't think, because what happens is what you do to them as a child is subconsciously in their mind.
It stays with
may
them.
act that thing out when they get older. They don't even understand why their behavior is the way that they're behaving, but it could be something that happened, childhood trauma. Childhood trauma is real. And sometimes as parents, I mean, we do the best we can, but we err, we make mistakes, right? I'll be the first to come and apologize to my daughter. I tell my daughter all the time, I got it wrong a lot of time. I was a young parent with you, and I got it wrong. I admit, if I didn't have my village, my mom, supporting you, my dad supporting me, if I didn't have that village, I made a lot of error. So I apologize for those things. But now you have children, and I hope you learn from me. Don't be too of a parent that I can't say I'm sorry, because I did some sorrowful things. Like, okay, was that because she did something, or was that out of frustration? Was I just tired, frustrated?
Exactly that.
Yeah,
Jeanette,
that too.
Things like that.
because
So
I,
you have to.
I
be
wanted
able
to tell you now
decipher.
that some parents need counseling because they some parents are young and they might punish out of their own frustration, out of a reaction. And so I definitely, I spanked my daughter when she was 4. I remember that. Never again after that. And I decided that day, it didn't make me feel good. And I decided I am not, next time this child makes me really cross, I'm just going to, bye, sweetheart. I am just going to walk away and come back and, walk away and think about what she did and what is the appropriate consequence to that. And that she will get, instead of spanking her because she made me really mad. So
Yeah,
I just think before,
think before.
Yeah, there's 3 groups.
Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
There's
And
3 groups of people.
Walk away. I learned older to walk away. I didn't know that at that time. And I taught my daughter that. I said, when your children do something, before you react, I need you to walk away from the situation and process it. What just happened? So I can know how to approach this situation, because I don't want to regret doing anything that can be harmful to you and harmful to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk away from this situation and I'm going to come back to it. A much calmer person, a much simpler person. And I brought it down. So, because right now I'm on 50 and I need to bring this down to 10. So I'm going to bring it down to 10, because once I get a chance to rationalize it, it may not be as bad as it seems. The reason why it's bad as it seems, because I'm getting it head on. And head on, sometimes you're going to react head on, right? But if I had a time to let this thing process, marinate, think about it and everything like that, once I did that, now I can approach it with a different tone in my voice, and I'm not at that anxious type of feeling. And that's why my daughter loves telling me everything that goes on in her life. That's why my son loves telling me everything goes on in their life. That's why my granddaughter loves telling me everything that goes on in their life, because I didn't know, but I learned how to approach the conversation or whatever they did. I tell my son sometimes, I'm going to walk away from you and I'll be back. And he'd be like, but Mom, I said, you don't even have to explain to me. Let me process what just happened. Okay. And then I'll come back to you. And when I come back to him, I'm more calmer. I'm more relaxed. I see clearly. I speak clearly. I let him know how much I did not appreciate it. You know what I mean? Now he hears me. Now he hear me. Now he understand. But if I would have said it at the initial reaction, I would have been yelling. He would have closed out on me. He would have shut down. He would not receive the information that I'm giving him because of the tone of my voice. So now I just be like, and he'd be like, okay, Mom, you real cool. I'm not trying to be cool. I'm trying to calm myself down so it doesn't have to get escalated no further than what it is. I want to resolve this in a way that can be beneficial for both of us.
Mature.
And we always learn with the second child. We always learn with the second child, especially if you're a young parent. I was 21 when I had my first child, and I was 36 when I had my second child. And I learned a lot through those years before I had my second child. Also, I do a lot of things different than what my mother did. you know, you learn from, you know, you got to understand when our parents, their era, and then they're doing what their parents did in their era, which is my grandmother. You know, they did things different those days than how we handle things different these days with our kids. But yes, when you have children, it doesn't come with a manual book. You learn by in your community, by grandmas and aunts and stuff like that, but you learn as you go as well, you know.
All right, I'm gonna let Ursula get your last word because I'm about to shut down. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to tell you, you know, I think children also really appreciate when a parent was wrong. They feel the parent was wrong. Yes. And when the parent realizes that they're wrong, that they apologize. Because I said to my daughter, you know, I've never been a parent before. I haven't had training how to be a parent. So you are really a guinea pig. I'm going to get things wrong with you. And when I do, if I realize that, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, in this situation, I should have done that. I handled it wrong. I am so sorry. Yeah. I did wrong by you. I think a child has, well, definitely my daughter and I have a great relationship, and she has respect for that. And there, I mean, there were things that I would say, again, I'm so sorry I did that. And she says, now stop saying sorry because I forgive you. Everything is cool. And, you know, but I just, you know, if my mom did something wrong to me, if she apologizes, children are very forgiving. They just, I find, as it goes up, you know, me to my mother, my child to me, a child towards the parent is usually very forgiving, especially if the parent apologizes from the heart, if it's a genuine apology.
Yes, and the relationship gets better.
Woo, Jeanette, this live was hot today. Hot and smoking.
It was smoking. And I'm just going to finish these comments and I'm going to get out of here because my phone battery's dead. It says, I was abused as a child and I didn't want that to happen to my child. Manda, I'm so sorry that happened to even you because those are scars that stay with us forever. Jackie said, my mom was softly and my dad was the strict one. I would get yelled at for a short dress or skirt or my long hair in my face. So, you know, fathers are usually a little bit more tougher. Neva, I'm not sure if I said your name. Thank you so much for coming in and thank you for the thumbs up. And Manda said, my mom was abused as a child and often she left home. Her mom resumed the abuse to me. Come to find out she was angry with her having me at the age of 15. I mean, that was her choice. Not, you shouldn't have taken it out on you. Yes, my son can talk to me about anything. Washing hands. Lori say, have a good day. So I want to thank you ladies for hanging out with me today and Granny D and everybody in the chat. This topic, I don't even know how we got started with it. I thought we was just sewing in loose ends and finishing.
Wait a minute. I want to tell you, I've got so much done. I only have a lot less done. So hey.
Wow.
Nice.
I got a lot of ends worked in. Now there's only this left. So I got a lot done.
I am so glad.
Yeah, my jellyfishes, I actually finished sewing in all the loose ends on this live. So thank you, Jeanette.
Thank you, ladies, so much. And thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. I needed you guys' energy and y'all brought the noise. So I appreciate it so very much. Elaine, I know I got to replay some of your live videos and whoever else. I'm just going to turn them on and let them play. But okay, ladies, I love you guys. Love everybody.
All right. Have a great Sunday, guys. Be blessed.
Thumbs
Bye.
up.
Bye.
Bye, guys.